Hello, I am Daniel Bloodworth. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week I'm joined by Michael Huber.
Feeling bleak.
We'll get there. We'll get over it. Michael Damiani.
I was gonna say something negative. Now I don't want to do that because I don't want to contribute to the negative vibes. I feel like so bad. You know what? May the odds ever be in your favor.
Making it all happen in the control room. We got Don Casanova on the gears.
We'll turn this around. Wait till the end of the podcast. We're all going to be filled with glee, Huber, again.
Hell yeah.
There's going to be some good news dropping soon, any second now.
Hell yeah.
Isla is out this week, but we still got Gabby watching us. Hello, Gabby. Hello. Friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. Xbox is closing studios that they bought not that long ago. The Helldivers 2 Steam community fought PlayStation and won. Switch 2 announcement is coming. We've got a deadline for that sucker.
100%?
Yes, 100%.
Says who? Says who?
The president of Nintendo.
This is Nintendo.
Okay. There we go.
This is Nintendo.
There we go. Straight from the top.
Plus,
The source.
we had a lot of sick games this week. Hades 2 is in early access right now.
Crazy.
It just happened. They just decided, hey, Monday, let's do it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Animal Well is incredible.
Perfect score.
Blindsided me.
Perfect score on Eurogamer.
So freaking good.
5 stars.
Yeah. There's a lot of 5s and 10s out there.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crow Country sounds really good too. I'm interested to hear what you think about that.
It is.
We had a lot to talk about. That's not even all of it. We got other things in there too. Let's get the worst news out of the way first.
Let's do it.
Xbox closed Tango Gameworks, Arcane Austin, and some other studios earlier this week. Microsoft announced they're closing 4 studios within Bethesda and ZeniMax. We're going to circle back around to that because I think that's an important part of this that maybe has not been focused on as much. But the studios are Tango Gameworks, who make Evil Within,
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo, Hi-Fi Rush, Arcane Austin, who made Redfall, Dishonored, and Prey. Some of those team members are being moved to other parts of Bethesda. There's a little detail I didn't catch until I was going back over things today.
Nice little detail.
Alpha Dog Games getting shut down. They did Mighty Doom, and they're doing some other mobile games before they were acquired.
You ever see the movie?
Mighty Doom?
Alpha Dog?
Alpha Dog? No. And then Roundhouse Studios, who also worked on Redfall, the studio is closing, but the employees are moving over to ZeniMax Online to work on Elder Scrolls Online. Some other things I picked out with Roundhouse, though, which was interesting. So that staff, that company was basically like it was a new company, but it was basically the same staff in the same building as Human Head Studios. Remember them?
No.
They made the original Prey. They were working on the canceled Prey 2.
Oh, the canceled Prey 2 looked so sick.
They also made The Quiet Man.
Yikes. Okay, hey, everybody gets a bad
Quiet
one.
Man.
Everybody gets a free bad one.
That's right.
Yeah. So interesting stuff there.
You get one on the house.
There's also a small number of roles across Bethesda, and the publishing side of things, corporate teams and people that are going to be eliminated as well. So with that, some of the consequences of that in terms of stuff that you will not be able to play anymore. Redfall's unreleased DLC that was in the premium edition, just not going to happen.
That offline mode, too, was really close.
And then, the offline mode was supposed to come out this month, according to reports, and that is out. So you will not be able to play that game offline, most likely, unless, who knows, maybe they get some engineers from somebody else to finish that patch. But it does not sound like it. It sounds like
it seems like it would have been worth it, just another couple weeks to have that. I mean, I could have, I don't know, given some interest to the game.
But the DLC was apparently still not going to be ready until October. That was the additional characters that they were supposed to be in that premium bundle. Yeah. But anyone that ordered that that edition
Dang.
they're eligible for a refund. So you can apply to get a refund on that.
Yeah. I mean, the most optimistic would have been like, October with the new offline mode, the new characters, Halloween season. Could have been a turning point for Redfall.
Maybe. I mean, it sounded like they had
Most
done
optimistic
a lot
take.
and it didn't really move anything. But
Yeah.
And then Mighty Doom is going to be sunsetted on August 7th. I don't know who was playing that. I don't really know anything about Mighty Doom, but yeah, that's the mobile Doom game. So yeah, you want to get some first thoughts out there, or you want to get into these quotes, these emails?
I think just the initial thoughts, we've been dealing with this for like years now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how many times have we said like, okay, enough is enough, enough is enough. So this is just like another, this is a crushing blow like they all are, but it feels like extra harsh because those studios have like really good games.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's like, how do we even try? And just everything like Phil Spencer has said and Microsoft has said, all the acquisitions, it's like, it just feels a lot more bleak and like gives me a hopeless feeling just about like the industry in general.
Right.
So, yeah, it's really devastating.
Yeah. I mean, they're sending a crystal clear message. I mean, if Microsoft in doing this and what we've seen is that it no longer matters about how well your game does. Mm-hmm. It's like there is another driving factor going on here in making these decisions. And I know we're going to get into the quotes in a second, but it clearly seems like mergers and acquisitions have just gotten completely out of hand. Mm-hmm. And we're just at a point where these companies can't sustain all these studios, or saying they can't sustain all these studios, and like we need to shrink and focus on quality and fewer IPs. And it's like, this is your actions have consequences. Mm-hmm. You went and bought all these things, and now you're shutting them all down, despite them like having good products. And it's like, what, like, how do you have like any kind of like hope with that?
Yeah.
I mean, like the only thing that could be more devastating, I think, than like something like this is like a giant like AAA studio that releases something like shutting down despite it being like a best like
From after Elden Ring or something.
Like T2 Interactive like, guess what? We're shutting down all of Rockstar after GTA 6. Yeah, it sold so many copies, but yeah, we're just gonna downsize, lay everyone off, and like recover. We got a new direct. It's like, what? I mean, that's not gonna knock on wood. That's not gonna happen. But it's like, what do you even like do? Like it feels like you have no control.
It's very dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Because it just screams backroom, shady boardroom deals where it's just spreadsheets and numbers. There is no human element whatsoever coming from the top brass with these moves. It's just looking at numbers and taking the like all the empathy and all the humanity out of everything and just saying, oh, here's a way to cut 15% of costs so we can, make more money and give it to the higher ups or whatever the hell you're going to do with it. So, yeah. I mean, it definitely like feels like that. It feels like this is the byproduct of like we always have to have like infinite growth. We can't just have, hey, you did a good job this year, but because it wasn't better than last year, you failed. Yeah. It's like, wait, because you're answering that. And I'll give credit to, because I was watching her video, Alana Pierce kind of touched on all this as well and had a pretty good insight about how even like one-off single player games that sell like 5+ million copies, the reason why those aren't doing good enough from what she's hearing from behind the scenes is that they want you. Everyone's competing for your time. The time is more valuable than money at this point. They want you on their platform, so they want you engaged more. So this is why they're drug dealers, dude. That's disgusting.
That's it.
That's the same mentality. They want you hooked. They want you on their product.
It's not just the game industry they're competing with. They're competing with like streaming service and everyone. Right. We've known this for a while, but like we're seeing the ugliest side of like, the ultimate side of this playing out. It's like, we really need to double down on everything that works. Only guaranteed hits. Like
established IPs. Like, how many studios and like publishers have we seen come out and say that recently that we're done? I mean, Capcom kind of led the way with that a few years ago, and it's like, hey, yeah, we got like a few smaller things, but man, our heavy hitters are surefire. Boom, sell, we'll make them to sell. Square Enix CEO recently said we're doing that too. It's like, yeah, we're gonna like probably start focusing only on our biggest IPs.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. Here's the contrast I see on that. And Square Enix has shut down some studios as well. I feel like they've moved a lot of those staff over to their internal side. But the biggest difference I see between Square Enix's reducing and focusing and Xbox's reducing and focusing is, like we were talking about last week, Square Enix was legitimately putting out too many games and not supporting them.
Yeah.
They were putting out products that could not do well in the circumstances
Quality
that
titles.
they were in.
But yeah,
Xbox needs games.
Yeah.
Oh,
Xbox needs first-party games.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush was one of the highlights of last year for Xbox because not only was it a game, but it was a game without the controversy of Redfall, without the controversy of Starfield. And it was very different than the rest of their lineup. It was not another third-person over-the-shoulder shooter or FPS or
big RPG.
Right. It was a very different game in a lot of ways. It was colorful. It was a new franchise.
Exactly.
It was exactly the kind of thing that they need to invest in.
Yep.
And it's nuts.
I feel like it's like that's extremely short-sighted of them too, and I feel like it's gonna come.
Do we have that
all
quote
this is
from
gonna
Booty?
come in.
Yeah, I've got.
It's
I've
gonna
got
come
a few
and
quotes
bite
from
them
Booty
back
here.
in the ass.
Yeah.
This is gonna bite them in the ass.
Oh,
like hardcore.
Yeah,
come like I don't know what they could do between now and their like Summer Games Fest showcase or whatever. Like that thing is gonna be
bleak.
like
So bleak.
Yeah. Like
better have your Gears Halo Forza ready to go.
It's I mean, even then it's like people are just like all over like social media right now, just like what faith can you have in Xbox right now? Like why even like buy into that ecosystem anymore when you have successful games not even being continued? Like developing and fostering a new IP like Hi-Fi Rush and then abandoning it. It's like Sony and Nintendo are always clamoring to like come out with those great new ones. Like they're never a guarantee. Like yes, like Splatoon came out, took off, great new IP. ARMS maybe not so much. And it's like Sony's tried a few different ones. Some have taken off, some haven't. Like we don't have any more Gravity Rush, but we
got two of them.
So finding finding one that like hits as hard as like Hi-Fi Rush, like that's like yes, I think they still have like the IP, right? They technically could still do it, but as you pointed out, Bloodworth, about Square Enix retaining employees, keeping people on projects, like what Larian was explaining how like it's very good to like maintain that consistency, give your teams time, don't lay people off at the end, like keep them for everything. That consistency leads to better products. So even if they keep Hi-Fi Rush, it's like they hand it to another studio, there's no guarantee the sequel is going to be any good. So it's like you keep a good thing going, and they just I don't know, like I can't even I don't know. They need to stop. Like I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what they're doing, man. Do they want to stay in business? Like, what?
You know what it reminds me of? Is Game of Thrones. Because it's like you're killing random killing characters that I got attached to. So now every time I see a new character, I'm like, well, not worth getting attached to because they could die at any second.
Yep.
And then it wasn't worth it.
Let me get into that because I'm going to follow up on that right here. First of all, the first quote that we got from Matt Booty, because these things came from internal emails and recorded video calls because people are not happy.
Yeah,
when people are not happy, they leak things like this.
This one is just insane.
But the first one from Matt Booty, quote, "These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades." And the thing that's crazy to me, because we were talking about, I think this was in our Discord that we were talking about this, is like, someone was saying, is like, oh, they want Fallout. They want like a Fallout spinoff or something right now because of the show doing so well, and obviously, if you haven't started working on that, it's too late anyway.
Exactly.
But who better than to make a cool Fallout spinoff than Arcane Austin?
Yeah.
make an immersive sim
Exactly.
Fallout game.
It'd be
Like, it's
incredible.
not going to have all the same systems.
Yep. Obsidian got to
the-
New Vegas. Like, let Arcane take a
but I'm
crack.
saying, like, you don't need all of the RPG trappings.
Yeah.
You just pick another character in that world and make a different kind of game.
100%.
Yeah.
Insanity.
And then you don't need as much of the craziness, you know? And you could probably make that, like, it won't be as quickly as, like, a small game, but, you know, you can do something that's not as, doesn't take as long as a full-on Fallout or
I
Elder
just
Scrolls.
believe no one higher, like not one person higher up except like Phil Spencer at Microsoft even plays video games. Like they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even know who their companies are. They don't know their talent. They don't even know what a good video game is.
Well, one thing I want you to stick a pin in, because again, this is something I didn't really think about until today. Investing in Bethesda's portfolio. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay.
Get your Elder Scrolls, get your Fallouts.
So then the next day, Jason Schreier did a follow-up report. He pointed out that what these studios were doing. Tango was pitching Hi-Fi Rush sequel. Arcane Austin was pitching, basically going back to what they're good at. We're going to make another immersive sim. Sounded like probably it was going to be like a new IP. And what it basically sounds like is that they were targets of not having anything in production. It's like, hey, these guys aren't really working on anything.
Let's
Like,
shut
we
them
haven't
down.
put a couple of years into this game yet, right? They're just about to get started, so let's close them down because, you know, it'll be a while before they put out anything that'll, you know, add black to the books, essentially.
Games take time, Microsoft. And money and resources and support.
But it makes you, like Gabby was saying, it makes you afraid now of anyone that puts out a game. You
There
put
should
out
be a
game,
mass exodus.
If you don't have another game, like already a year or two of production,
This
are you on the chopping block?
Yeah.
this leads to a bad precedent.
Yeah, I would
we
get
can't
the
have
hell out of there.
Studios overextending themselves, trying to like, we got to keep busy. We got to have like multiple projects, so we got to make ourselves indispensable that lead to like longer time, like dev times, more hours, like crappy hours for the people who work there, and then possibly like worse products because everyone's being spread so thin. And that like type of decision making reeks what Huber was just saying, like people in the executive level having like no understanding of like their industry that they're representing.
They have
It's
no
like,
clue. They're just business people.
They're looking at the like this like a spreadsheet
Yeah,
or
that's
something like,
it.
oh, they're not working on a thing right now. Oh, that's easy. Close them.
Yeah.
They like don't have like the context, or they don't care about the context. Like, nah, we need to close this many studios. It's what shareholders demand. It's like, or this is what, or you know, we've like decided will make us hit like this financial target. We need 4 studios closed now. Who's the easiest to close? I don't care who they are. And it's like,
it's
what?
devaluing the creative and the ideating process, which is like the most of it happens at the beginning. You know, it's like if you're not sitting at a computer typing code into a program, then you're worthless to us.
Yeah. But with that, like he basically, you know, Matt Booty basically denied that it had anything to do with the performance of either of those projects. Like that was outside of the reasoning.
Do you have his other quote about like smaller games?
We'll
That's
get
my
there.
favorite one.
We'll get there.
So out of touch.
I could throw it out there, I guess.
Yeah, throw it out.
Where is it at?
Throw out this out of touch psychotic statement.
I don't think I actually wrote the. Oh, here it is. Quote: "We need smaller games to give us prestige and awards." Essentially.
So Hi-Fi Rush.
Right. Some people are
So
debating
Hi-Fi
whether
Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush is small, but it's like it's definitely smaller than a Starfield.
And it's smaller than Ghostwire and Evil Within.
Yeah.
It's smaller, like one of their smaller games.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
God.
but here's where we get into the reasoning. In this town hall call, Matt Booty said that the company's studios had been spread too thin, like peanut butter on bread.
Okay, now he's quoting Bilbo Baggins. Stop.
Yeah, too much butter spread over. Like, yeah.
And that leaders across the division had felt understaffed. They decided to close these studios to free up resources elsewhere. And then Jill Braff, head of ZeniMax, said, "It's hard to support 9 studios all across the world with a lean central team with an ever-growing plate of things to do. I think we are about to topple over." So here's where I put the focus.
We were really bad at our jobs and we mismanaged everything, and you all are gonna pay the price.
That last one, it's like,
Okay.
then stop buying new studios,
Yeah.
assholes.
Like, hey,
like what?
Yeah.
But I want you to go back to what I pointed out earlier. This is Bethesda. This is specifically in the Bethesda wheelhouse. This is the Bethesda executives that bought too many things before Microsoft bought them that are saying we have too much to manage. Mm-hmm. So it's essentially something that might have happened with or without Microsoft because it's the Bethesda execs that are saying we don't have enough leadership here. Now, why can't they get enough leadership, or why can't they spin these studios off to some other part of Microsoft? I don't know.
Lay off 1,900 people for make these cuts to staff.
I'm sure with all the like mergers and shit, that's just like a chaotic situation. So, I don't know.
I mean, they got bought by Microsoft, big company. Hey, we're gonna help our studios. Like Microsoft couldn't step in when they were looking over anything, but like, all right, these studios are gonna need more support. Like, no one figured this out. Like, I don't know. Like, this truly reeks of like, we're just buying for IPs. We don't care about anything else. Like, gobble everything up. We keep the IPs. Who cares about the people in the studios behind it? Like, we'll sort that out later. It's like, what? This seems like an unsustainable way to do business. Like, I've thoroughly convinced like Microsoft is like
done.
That like they had to do something drastic, or like I don't say like they're just gonna like be an afterthought to like everyone else going forward. I don't know. I don't know what they can do. If this is
just
their
all this too coming
strategy.
off of like you remember the Redfall situation when that was botched and Phil was like, oh, we didn't. We weren't watching. Apparently, they're not watching a goddamn thing.
Right.
Like, there's just no faith and trust here. Like, there's no way to trust a single solitary word they say or believe that they can turn it around because it's been so long. I mean, it's so boring how long we've been saying, like, Xbox needs games. And it's like, I guess they're just not concerned with that. Because, they were going for the all-in-one TV Xbox with Kinect shit back in the day and Google Glass and Game Pass. And it's like...
Well, Google Glass was not that. That was Google.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. Just all those, like, second screens, all weird stuff,
Well, they're just talked about putting billions into AI stuff as well. But
and it's like, okay, clearly you just don't care about, like, your big first party exclusive games, which is like what the core audience has been wanting for a very long time. And at this point, it's like never gonna happen. That's what it feels like, because they're always like it's always been like just over the hill with Xbox. It's like they do some moves and it's like, okay, things are turning around. There's hope on the future. Like Series X started off really well and it's like, okay, there's hope. We had Halo Infinite coming out and then it kind of just like fizzled out. It just always feels like it's like one step forward, two steps back with Microsoft.
Yeah. This also just screams like these mergers, acquisitions, these need to stop and slow down. Like, this has just gotten out of hand. Like, I don't know anyone who's like better off at this point from this. Like, it's such a high risk danger at this point. I mean, these studios and these developers that work at these studios also need like much better protections. Like, this is just like I don't, again, I just don't
moving
see
around
how this
like
is
chess pieces.
I don't see how this is sustainable. It's like I'm waiting for like 10 years from now when there's like, remember, like we're gonna show how old we are, but like when like all those like AOL Time Warner merger was like the biggest thing in the world, and like AOL sucked and like failed and like fell out. It's like I'm waiting for like an article in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's like, oh, the fall of Microsoft. Like, Call of Duty is the only thing that remains because it's big. Like, it's bigger than Microsoft, but like Microsoft, is like the one that's like faltering and failing, and like I'm just waiting for this deal to like blow up in their faces. It's like, you did all this, you got what you wanted, but like, what did it cost? Like, Thanos, what did it cost you?
Dude, everything.
What did it cost you? And like 5 years now, Phil or Matt Booty's gonna be like, everything.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, but I think it shows too that they're basically up against a wall of like what they can do. Because I think if your leadership team at Bethesda is telling you this is too much for us to manage, then probably the proper thing to do would have been to expand the leadership team, or to have like somehow spun off like, okay, Bethesda, you're just going to be Bethesda and Machine Games and id, and then Arcane and these other studios will be a different group. We'll have a different leadership structure over them, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys won't have to worry about as much. But instead, they're like, no, we're just gonna remove this entirely, which means that they can't afford to hire more leaders who apparently all need to make $10 million a year or whatever. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the limitation, right? Like if the leadership team has to cost this much and you're not willing to take pay cuts on those things, then it's like, okay, well, we can either, hire 5 more people that are going to make $1 million plus a year, or we can cut 4 studios. Mm-hmm. These are our solutions. And it's just like, and now here's the next thing. Brad Hildebrand, who used to work PR for Xbox, he went on LinkedIn and he was basically attributing these moves to 2 main factors, which I think we all know. Number one, Game Pass growth has stagnated. And so all of these moves that were supposed to make people flock to this ecosystem just kind of stalled out, topped off. And then 2, they just spent $70 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard. And so now that's enough money from the giant Microsoft pocket to be like, okay, you guys need to justify what you're doing. We're not going to look the other way anymore. You guys need to, make this pay off this time.
Dude, with $70 billion, you could make thousands of games.
I don't know if this is accurate, but I saw somebody post that with just the money that they gave Bobby to go away, that they could have run these studios for 17 and a half years.
Yeah, that's decades of paying your employees and making games.
Yeah. Let's see. We already went over that quote.
It's gonna be so hard for them to get the trust back after this. That's all I know.
And not only was
that's all I know, dude.
They cut 1,900 jobs in January that they announced, but the latest reports are saying that they're also not done yet. There's still more cuts that have not been announced. So, hooray!
Yeah, and it's not just them. We're there's not. It's industry wide, of course, but just what Microsoft has said versus what they have done makes this one sting even more and feel worse.
And to close us out, I love that this happened. Dinga Bakaba, one of the lead designers at Arcane Lyon, just immediately went off.
Pop off,
on
dude.
Twitter.
Yeah.
To
We're all
any
humans,
executive
dude. We have
reading
emotions.
this, friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment/cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists and entertainers and help them create value for you. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as strawmen for miscalculations or blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
And Microsoft continued, you look at Fable after Fable 3, and then they pivoted to multiplayer Fable Legends or Scalebound, which tried to have some weird online functionality, and Redfall trying to be some weird quasi live service type thing. It's don't chase that shit. Just make the game you're passionate about. That's it.
Definitely. Again, just add, also sucks because this was of the studios let go. I mean, Xbox. Keep saying Microsoft. Xbox was struggling to gain a foothold in Japanese games, game development, and they had one, and it's see ya. It's okay. It's so are you just completely abandoning that? I mean, it could be their strategy, but I mean, it's just more narrow thinking, that they're not trying to think about expanding and broadening their appeal. And again, as I said, I fully expect this to come full circle and blow up in their faces at some point in the next few years.
Yeah. And again, I think at a time when people are looking for big first-party games and they're not getting them. I think it's costing them a lot of trust. You know, a lot of Game Pass subscriptions. Be like, why? Especially since there's also talk about them not sure what they want to do with Call of Duty. And it's like you spent $70 billion and you're not sure still what you want to do with Call of Duty.
It's like May, dude. That new one's coming out soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also sorry. Before I forget, all this also. I mean, I assume you also feel this way. Concern for other studios that might be in jeopardy now. Yeah. I hate to bring it up,
Ninja
Huber.
Yeah,
Ninja Theory.
Oh, Ninja Theory. I'm terrified for.
Yeah, I know.
It's another one of my favorite studios of all time.
It does feel like, hey, game's coming out.
Yep.
It's done. Hey, they're not working on anything. Oh, and did it do well enough too? Even though they keep saying performance is not part of it, it's like
real question. Actually, I've seen a sentiment that they have not been advertising Hellblade 2 enough. Everyone's like, "Where's the marketing? Where's the marketing?" But then I'm over here saying yo, this game has been marketed too much for years.
I think
am
now,
I in the wrong, or
you're thinking of things being in showcases,
Yeah.
which is part of marketing. But
Yeah.
they're talking about marketing, stuff being on billboards, stuff being
billboards,
on YouTube,
ads, trailers, commercials.
But Aaron Greenberg has been
it.
posting about their whole rollout. That stuff
Okay.
is just basically kicking off. That's going into high gear right now.
Got it.
So
Because I see everyone is like,
we'll
Hellblade's coming
see
out.
by the time. Now, if it feels like a ghost town before launch, then that'll be another thing. But
It's scary. Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone, the sentiment was like, this is coming out. No one knew. And I was like, that's not good.
yeah.
What?
But yeah, man, I don't know. It's nuts, and they got to figure out how to turn this around because this is huge. And
Insane
there
question.
is a part too that I similarly having Mikami leave Tango. I don't know if that made any difference, but
Maybe,
it doesn't
maybe
sound like
not.
it. It just
No.
sounds like, oh, we got too many studios to manage, so we're just gonna get rid of some.
I mean, they have an incredible survival horror IP that they're just going to throw in the trash can now.
Right.
And that's another thing that Microsoft could have really touted. Here is an incredible survival horror game in a time when survival horror is so popular. An exclusive one to go up against not Resident Evil's on Xbox also, but you can only play it here and on Windows and
Yep.
Xbox. It's crazy. Real weird question. Do you think I've never seen things so dire with Microsoft Xbox. Is this their last console?
No, I don't think we're anywhere near that.
No,
Okay.
they were
It's just-
talking about
okay.
building. There's been more talk of chatter
Go
about
again?
a Steam Deck device for them, portable, that keeps coming up.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, they're talking about making
Yeah.
things more convenient for
'Cause,
those kinds of.
Just with Game
Handhelds
Pass and
and stuff.
PC and now putting games on PlayStation, I could easily see them going the way of Sega. It's not unrealistic to me. It's not a crazy hot take.
Yeah, yeah, I think we potentially could see a system where they allow other people to make Xboxes. You get the ROG Xbox with a little bit more power.
That'd be
A
so
year and a
weird.
half after the Microsoft Xbox comes out or something like that.
Yeah,
But
that would be weird.
I don't think they will completely abandon the console space anytime soon, especially after spending $70 billion.
Any more quotes, Blood?
No,
Has Phil said anything?
I haven't really seen a Phil quote.
I
but
know
a
his,
lot of these were from things that were not meant for the
I
public.
know his Fallout 76 camp got nuked.
That was funny. Apparently not the first time. Apparently not the first time.
Oh, good protest, dude. Good active protest. That is 10 out of 10. It's excellent.
All right, next blunder. Sony had a really messy weekend.
Just quick shout out, seriously,
Yes.
to everyone that got unceremoniously fired, cut off,
Yes.
Yep.
let go.
Yep. Especially Tango, and hopefully they can find a way to figure out a new studio or something over there.
I had an optimistic take, and the optimistic take through all of this BS was that with all of this talent now that has been laid off in the last year or two, all of these talented devs, hopefully they just make sick, small indie games, whether it's from like 2 people just in their house doing something on the side.
The trouble is right now with the market, the funding is not there for them to start.
Even
studio.
like small little
that's
like
the difficult part.
itch.io type games, like just keep making good stuff. Don't be discouraged.
Most people aren't making enough money to just have that in the bank and just make side projects. They gotta find jobs. So.
I'm just trying to be positive here, Blood. What do you want from me?
No, I'm just but I'm just saying, like, the realistic side of that is like, there's not many people that can just go out there and build a new studio. Yeah, unfortunately.
Even with that, because even the Kickstarter one that we were talking about is like failing. The like 6 Cyberpunk John Wick one. Yeah. Moon
Shadow, right?
Shadow,
Something like that.
Yeah. It's got like a week to go. It's not even close. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get through this stuff. But yeah, let's move on to Sony's mess, which seems to be cleaned up at this point. It's just wild weekend.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
So Friday, they announced that Steam players would need to link their PSN accounts to play Helldivers 2, to continue playing Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
So starting May 6th, which would have been like right away, new players would have had to have a link to their PSN account.
Which, at first you're like, oh, okay, just like, link an email, a couple clicks, takes 1 minute.
And then by May 30th, existing players would also have to do that.
Yeah.
Now, this is a thing that was like communicated before, but not well.
Not enforced.
From the start, they said that you will need to link your PSN account. They had a button there, but something technical went wrong, so they waived it. Essentially, so that people could get by without, and they also had a skip button.
Probably when the game freaking like blew the hell up and became one of the most popular games like of the year / ever. They're just like, oh, we'll wait on this for a minute.
Right. So that but that like makes everyone question like, well, so what is the technical need? We've been playing this game for months, and now you're saying, we figured it out, and we're going to require this now, but why?
Yeah. Where it gets terrible is that it, like, in 170 something countries, you are not allowed to do that. You are not allowed to link the accounts.
Well, yeah, basically there was no PSN service in those countries.
Exactly.
So there's no way to link your account.
Exactly. So like over 170 something countries could not even play the game anymore.
Yeah. Unless they're doing something like using a VPN or something that could get them banned. So this did not go well.
No. No.
Steam review bombs of the magnitude of 200,000 negative reviews.
Insane. Brutal, dude. Brutal.
Lots of confusion and mixed messaging between like Sony and Arrowhead staff and their mods and things like that.
One of the most beloved games, if not the most beloved game of the year, with the community and just the on like how it just keeps going, the momentum of the game. Well, it was like a rocket ship, man. The momentum was top of the mountain. Everyone is obsessed with Helldivers, and this just put a real big stink on it.
Then, I think because of the requirement, Steam just like started making the game unavailable in all of those countries, and so it just like essentially like going off like every one of those countries listed was like, you can't play the game in those countries, or can't at least buy the game in those countries. And then finally, late Sunday night, PlayStation issued a statement. Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update. The May 6th update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward.
Shouldn't have done that.
We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans.
Okay. I really want to start a PR company called Tell It Like It Is, where you don't write PR speak replies like that.
Be like, hey, we
You literally
fucked
just
up.
say like, yo, we thought we could capitalize on the momentum and make you create some more PlayStation accounts to boost our numbers and get you into our ecosystem. But clearly you didn't like that. So you know what? We don't want to ruin a good thing. So we're just going to pull the plug. Our bad. Like, just say, like,
quickest way to piss off gamers is to make them sign up for something they don't want to sign up for.
Well,
some kind of email link. Like, no.
Well, the thing is, so I mean, I think a lot of people interpreted the way that Damiani did.
Yeah.
But again, going back, like this stuff was there from day one. This was the intention, and they just botched it so hard that now it's just like, why? Why do I need to? What do you mean I need to sign up for PSN? I've been playing without PSN. Why do I have to now? Yeah. And so it's like, if it were there from day one, like a lot of other games, like Ubisoft and Bandai Namco and Capcom ID and all these other things, it probably wouldn't have been seen as such of a big deal.
Yeah.
People hate having to sign up for shit or install.
Anything.
Like
Passwords,
anytime
email
early on
confirmations.
Steam, any stupid like EA Play or Origin or whatever, I was like, F off. I'm not even like uninstall. I'm not even going through the shit.
Especially
like, what's another game to play?
especially after these players put so much time and money in.
Yeah.
You know? Having to do that after the fact, after you've committed like so much time and money.
So now what's crazy, the community is rallying, like basically in-universe rallying to bring the negative reviews, reverse them, and like put them back to where the Steam reviews should be.
It's gonna be hard. That was so many negatives.
Apparently it's like already
it's
on
already
the way.
back
like
up?
it's like 76,000 reviews or something have been corrected already.
Dude, the community, man. Helldivers. The story of Helldivers 2 is the best story of 2024. It's absolutely just wild.
But yeah, so I think that this is something that I am sure was done with very valid legal reasoning.
Yeah.
That absolutely does not matter anymore. And now they're going to have to figure this out. Because, like, I don't know. Like, it's like Sony just, like, not authorized to do business in those countries.
It's got to be
Do they need to have, like, some kind of paperwork filled out with every tiny little country? Or, like, you know, they're like, but if that's the case, then, like, how does Steam do it? How does everybody else on Steam do it?
Gabe Newell.
You know? So, right. Yeah. So I think that this is like part of the growing pains of Sony learning like what it means to publish on PC, where they're not selling the platform. You know, like it's like, well, we don't sell PlayStations in that country, so we don't need to offer PSN in that country. It's like, well, now you do.
Yeah.
One way or another, either now you do, or you just not worry about PSN, or I don't know. They're gonna have to figure that out for sure.
Sort it out.
The other
I'm starting to see like the appeal of Gabe Newell. Just like we got Half-Life Alyx, I know, but I'm starting to see the appeal of Gabe Newell. Just like, we're not really gonna make games anymore, dude. Just like no drama, dude. Just sit back, relax, let the Steam money come in. Like, just one problem after another. God.
The other thing I think is that makes a difference in the reaction to this is, like, you do have to do this with like a lot of, Microsoft games, but Microsoft are like, unless you're like one of the dudes running Linux or, only playing on a Steam Deck, which is like almost nobody, you're basically forced to have a Microsoft account. So you just use the same Microsoft account you use for Windows. Yeah. Whereas like for PlayStation, it's like, you don't have a reason to have a PlayStation account if you're a Steam user in Belarus or something, It's like, why would I have a PlayStation account? So,
sort it out.
Yeah. This is
At least they went back on it fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Always a shout out when they're actually listening and then they do the right thing.
Should there be a better way for Steam feedback, though? Is the Steam review doing the job of something else?
I mean, yeah.
Like, because that's the thing. Because, like, I look at this and it's like, okay, make your voices heard with, lowballing the Steam reviews, overwhelmingly negative. That's clearly sent a message.
I mean, the only way companies hear is if it is some viral, insane campaign. We see it time and time again. And it's not
But is there a
it's
better
nice.
mechanism that should be implemented? for
There
that?
should
Yeah.
be, but like humans are inefficient as shit, so it clearly doesn't work because even like when you're getting harassed in a game and you try to this person's harassing me, ban them or whatever, like I need help, customer service, it's like so slow if they even resolve it at all. You just get some automated response. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Damiani, what do you think? Steam reviews, or do you have another system in mind to make something like this work?
I felt, wasn't there something or some review aggregator site that had like historical?
They do
like,
have
it would,
historical. You can see the timeline, I believe, on Steam.
Okay,
yeah.
so there is something like that already.
But you still have the like overall, overwhelmingly negative, overwhelmingly
Gotcha.
positive. All
I
that.
know if like something like that. I mean, I mean, the only thing that speaks louder than tens to hundreds of thousands of user feedback like that is like people voting with their dollars. I guess like people like not buying the game, like the potential lost sales versus anyone who was maybe like bought it, saw they needed to do that, refund. I don't want this anymore. So they saw like they were losing it. I mean, I don't know a better way, honestly. Like every type of thing that's tried to come up with like a solution to user feedback is always never like, it always gets like fine tuned over time and it's never perfect. So
Yeah.
I don't think there is a perfect solution. And obviously it can be used, it's a tool. It can be used for good or bad. And in this case, it was like in good faith, people were voicing like a valid concern this time. So like I would say this tool worked as it probably was designed to work. It was like to provide like critical immediate feedback. Like you see a spike, it's like, oh, what is this? Like I get like it's long term, but like that's also a thing. It's like does the long term like really like how much are they like really like getting hurt by, oh, it had like negative reviews, but like most people who are playing it are like, yeah, we know what happened. How many like people
Right.
are just gonna stroll up, see it as negative reviews, but their friend told them go buy it. Like I feel like there's too much weight put into reviews
No,
sometimes.
dude, devs love Steam reviews.
No, they do. But I mean, the
Yeah.
average person, sure, they'll go look at like stars and stuff, but like the most powerful thing endorsement is like a friend saying, yo, hop on Helldivers and play with me. It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Look at all these people having fun and like our group of friends having fun. They don't care. Oh, just 1-star review. You play it like, dude, this is the greatest game ever. Just like, I mean, it's like not as like swimming in sevens. Like, who cares? I like this game. It's fun. Like, I'm having fun playing with my friends. Like, reviews like don't hold as much power. I think is
I think if a game is not viral though, I think if a game is not viral, Damiani, like those Steam reviews are what a lot of users like latch onto, dude. Like,
oh, to filter for that? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but I mean that also factors into a whole mess of things of like how do you like storefronts. The visibility on storefronts is a whole other nightmare on there.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, even if you were to get like good reviews, like do you even stand, like how do you stand out amongst, and
the cataclysmic wave of content.
Yeah, I'm strictly just talking about like review score. Is it like the only thing, the strongest thing indicator when you have like word of mouth? And yes, in the case of like a viral game like this, the word of mouth will always overpower, even for like a smaller game. Even if it's like it's not gonna like explode and do well financially, if one of your friends just like really likes it and like tells you, hey, I know you'd like this game, like check it out, they're probably not gonna care what the reviews say if their friend told them to probably try it out and they trust that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe if like influencers and content creators were like could spread that message faster without needing to damage like the reputation of the long-term reputation of the game. Like, hey, this is fixable. Like, this is something we want reversed. Like, let's get that message out there. Like, I mean, I guess in a better world, like that's what it would be. But everyone goes for rage, hate, bait, click stuff, and so it's sometimes it seems like overly negative, and like people don't respond very well to like overwhelmingly negative, like confrontational stuff. Whereas like data wise, you can just look at the Steam user scores, be like, oh God, we have a spike of negative stuff. What's going on here? Versus I'm going to sit through an hour rant of like this like really popular like YouTube content creator, Twitch streamer.
Right.
I don't need to be like shat on.
You created you've created a data set that people can actually see at a glance. Yeah.
Exactly. And data is more reliable than any, this is easier to quantify.
I will say that it is important to bring up that, like, regardless of how bad a decision is, it still doesn't warrant a lot of the hate that goes, especially towards the community managers and stuff they're on the front lines that are generally trying to just be there to tell the higher ups what people are thinking.
Dude.
Right? Like, this is a lawyer-led decision.
Yeah.
We know quite well how picky Sony's lawyers are.
Yeah.
And I mean, so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, the community managers, the developers, they're like, in this case, it didn't even seem like they even were that aware that this was a thing that was going to be going down,
See, that's the, also, I mean, that's true. I feel like someone probably should have pointed out and had the foresight. Like, this felt like something you should have known was going to happen. It was just, did people who had the power to make the choice not care? They're like, oh, we know, okay, we believe you, but we're doing this anyway. We think the positives that we're going to get are going to outweigh the negatives. And then in this case, they were wrong. So, like, I would always assume like that or hope so in there. But like, then when they're like not in tune with that, that's like, obviously they have a lot to keep track of, but this seems like a pretty big thing. And I also want to say real quick that like, I'm thinking about like, I do feel like, reviews are still like important as well as like word of mouth. Like thinking about like new businesses trying to open. They're always, like, if you ever go to a new business, they're constantly on you like, please leave us a review on Yelp or whatever, because they need it. They need to like get volume to start showing up, which is the real issue, is just discoverability. It all goes back to like the algorithm to how to get discovered on any kind of thing, whether it's game storefront or like a listing for services or restaurants or whatever. So like reviews do help, but like same thing with like word of mouth. Like people go on like Facebook groups, older people do, and like, oh, this local restaurant's really great and stuff, and everyone go try it out. So it's like, I think it's like a bit of both. And there's like even more, I'm not even saying that factor into all that discoverability. And I think because of that, the point is because that's so complicated, your original question, Blood, about like, is there a more elegant way of like communicating this? Like I don't, or having a system in place, I don't think so, because everything contributes to this algorithm or whatever, and it's like any like new component like seems like it would just make it more complicated. Because in my mind I was picturing something that's like not tied to the overall quality of the game, but like something like this, where like, oh, this is some issue, like put up a stoplight kind of a thing, and then when people log back into the game, it's like, oh, do you want to keep your stoplight warning up, or do you want to change it back to green? But and then, but I don't know. It's another layer of something that probably will make sense. Yeah. But it does feel like, to me, that review score, the aggregate of it, is not really the best way to give that feedback, but it is the best way to give that feedback at the moment. It really is. And just to make sure I'm understanding, like you and Huber's like concern with this is like when it can't always be undone, and how important you were saying review scores are when you do review bombing. Even if like the problem is solved, that game is irreparably damaged, and it hurts like developers who might have like not had any say, like,
but even like another system wouldn't stop people review bombing either, right? Because they want, that's the thing, they want that score to hurt, they want that long-term damage. So
gotcha. So it's like it's too powerful of a tool, basically. Even when it is used quote unquote correctly, it's just like people should not have that level of power over a game, I guess, or a game studio is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. It just feels messy, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah. I understand. I think that's it's true. And like, I wouldn't generally like trust people to do the right thing either in most situations. So I would say like it would be better to find another way to address, have recourse for these types of issues. It's just, again, I think it's extremely difficult and complicated, or someone would have probably figured it out by now. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to some better news.
Exhausting first hour.
We got the Nintendo full year financial report.
Nice.
Let's go.
So I've got a bunch of numbers to go through, but let's get to the meat of this. This was actually tweeted out separately. This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo. We will make an announcement about the successor to Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. so before the end of March 2025. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015.
No way.
We will be holding a Nintendo
What?
Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation. So it won't happen in June, but sometime between July and March, we're going to find out about the next Switch.
Yeah. And this
Keely?
isn't like him.
Keeley's?
No.
No. And this isn't like him answering a question for like Bloomberg or something where like, oh, they've lied about a system and then they announced it or whatever. It's like, this is like a pretty direct facing, forward facing public statement. This would not be a good look if it showed up there. Like, it's not going to be there. So, but now, as I said, the clock begins. We have till March 31st of next year for that announcement. But now, to the joy probably of Michael Huber here, or maybe not. You bet with me, didn't you? Who bet against me? Like went against my thing? Because now people are saying it's like not coming out till like later next year.
I said it wasn't coming out in 2024. That was
so
my
you're-
bet.
okay.
I was
So
spot
you're,
on.
yeah.
it's looking better for you.
I said there's
Huber.
no way it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I
looking-
predicted
looking a little-
exactly. I said it's going to be announced in the fall and released in the spring. I'm standing
Smart.
by that.
Oh, now it might not even be spring apparently. So it's
Well-
like, oh boy.
That's the thing, is the way that it's brought up and worded is it's still hazy. There's still that whole timeline.
Oh,
that it's
yeah.
like they
Hazy.
that like they could release
It's in
the
the
system
fog.
by the end of this fiscal year, but
Sure.
they're not saying that. They're just saying that we will announce
Exactly.
it by the end of this fiscal year.
I still feel like my gut says that like they're just gonna literally go one for one with the Switch timeline, where we'll get like now at this point we'll get a fall event followed by a early next year blowout event, like a reveal event late this year, early beginning of next year, blowout event, Q1 to first month, sorry, Q4, their financial year Q4. So like Q1 of next year, like
Yeah.
January, February, March of next year, probably target release window, with like April probably being the later end would be my guess. But yeah, there's a lot of people are trying to like sift through some of like the statements, trying to like read between the lines, and I feel like that's never a good, like, it doesn't always play out the way you think it will, but it's just good to have them say something. And I truly believe the reason they've said this, that they said anything, is because I think the delay is like internally there probably was a pushback in the timeline, and I think they want third parties to be able to speak freely about their upcoming 2025 plans. And they're like getting a little frustrated about your system. Like, we're betting on your system. Can we at least say it's coming to the next Switch? This now clears them to say this is also coming to the next Switch, and they can just say they don't give a date. They just say it's in development as well for this thing. As long as they don't give like, they're clear about like not giving away a date or something. They can say we have a project in development, or this will at some point come to Switch 2. Whatever, or Switch successor, whatever they're going to call it.
The next generation Nintendo system. Yeah.
Yeah, like I fully expect the next time. I mean, I hope the next time, like we will, like, and maybe it's too soon. Like, I don't know, but like it'd be really cool to see like I always thought like with Capcom, Monster Hunter Wilds was gonna be on Switch's successor. Like, I absolutely think it's coming to that. So if it has like something at Summer Game Fest, like a new trailer or something, be really cool to say, system to bottom, it just says and Switch successor or something at the bottom in development or whatever. That would be, that'd be kind of like hype, I think, for some of that stuff. It makes it more real. But
Yeah.
also, yeah, the window is realistic. No more rumors. It is actually shrinking. They give us a deadline now of when they have to talk about this thing. So yeah, clock's ticking.
Anything else about that before I move on to them numbers?
Numbers, baby.
Oh, about like Switch 2?
Yeah.
I mean, there are a ton of like things coming out. Yeah, like there's always like leaks, but like this week was like leak central.
Okay.
Well, because we had Nintendo World Championships leaked,
Right.
That leaker apparently seems to have access to some kind of like eShop staging server or something. Because every leak they've
Their
done
dad actually works
is
at
something
Nintendo.
that's like related to eShop stuff. And I'm like, Nintendo's gonna figure you out, bud. Like you gotta stop or put out fake prediction or something. Like you can't always be right and only be right about something, because now they're gonna know like to look there and see like who's got like access to that. So yeah. But like specs, like people like have access to like shipping stuff, like apparently that's like being shipped out by Nvidia, between Nintendo and Nvidia. They were like seeing specs, and it's like, oh god, it's like, here we go, it will not end until that event, and even then they probably won't even say specs. So it's like, this will not end period until like the system's probably in people's hands, and like Digital Foundry tears it apart. It's like, all right, here's what's in the system, here we go. It's like, oh gosh. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to all this like leak crap. Like it's the worst thing. I hate all of this. It's annoying.
Yeah, because sifting through how much stuff is made up or outdated or whatever. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like all over the place.
And I feel like most of the time it's not right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, or it's partially right. So it's like, hey, I got part of it right. So like now I'm reliable, even though I got like all these other things wrong. It's like,
I just listen to the source.
Just the Damiani.
Yeah, Damiani and Nintendo. That's it.
Like,
only thing I'll listen to.
I mean, but I will say a lot of people have been like saying pretty much the same thing about like the rough power of this system, which is like, sounds good. Like that's sounding pretty good, but like we gotta like see shit like in action. Like it doesn't matter till you see the stuff in action. And you know what's gonna be. But I did like how they confirmed like online accounts are staying. They're committed to physical media. It's not going anywhere. They didn't outright say backwards compatibility yet, but like it's looking pretty good for like your stuff carrying over so far. But it is Nintendo. There could be a weird, like, you know, monkey's paw situation with that. Who knows? We'll find out.
Well, yeah, and like some of that stuff is sort of almost a given, right? Because it's like, okay, I'm paying however much for the Nintendo Switch Online thing for these N64 games and stuff.
Extreme like, G hype.
Yeah, like when I buy a new Switch, I'm going to want to play Extreme G on my new Switch.
Yeah, blood. Yeah, dude.
The last thing I will say is it is interesting about their forecast for Switch units, which they clarify does not include the Switch successor.
Right.
So the 13 point whatever they want to hit by the end of the fiscal year. It's indicative that they still have more software coming out beyond even like Nintendo World Championships in July.
Oh, like no, I mean that's what the June Direct is about.
Exactly. So that June Direct is like it's
Metroid.
like and it's something more substantial than like
CBA still.
Than Wind Waker HD. Wind Waker HD is not going to move enough systems to get that. So it's like there's something else still on the like the docket for like Switch OG Switch. We'll have to see.
Metroid.
So yeah, for this financial report, net sales rose 4.4% to 1.7 trillion yen, which is $11 billion. Gross profit, this is just for the year, rose 7.8% to 954 billion yen, $6.2 billion in gross profit.
Nice.
This is despite declines in both hardware and software sales.
Made more money than James Cameron's Avatar, dude.
Yeah. And a lot of it is they attribute a lot of it to the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Jeez.
They made more money in the lifespan of the Switch than they made from before Switch era, like the Wii U, end of Wii U, to like the beginning of Nintendo. Like,
the dawn of Nintendo.
The NES. The Famicom.
NES, sorry, NES. Yeah. From NES to Wii U, they made more money in the Switches. It is like, what's up? Although remember that now, because they did say a statement about how they were worried about once they're forced to have to develop more HD intensive games, like actually up in that fidelity, they see their development times getting increasing cost. The things that other studios have been, the growing pains, the suffering they've been going through the last like generation. This might be what Nintendo goes through a little bit coming up. So remember all this happy time stuff right now.
Yep. So for this year, as we know, there's not like the heavy hitters that last year had. So they're expecting a much tougher year, forecasting a 20% drop in net sales. But for last year, they sold 15.7 million units of the Switch, down a bit from 17.97 million the year before. Life to date, Switch has now sold 141.32 million units since it launched in 2017.
That is so many. That is
Coming
so
for you,
many.
PS2.
Seriously.
I'm coming for you, PS2.
DS is next, though, right?
Yeah, because of the statement that PS2 is actually at 160 million.
Yeah.
You know, they got a
That
little bit
extra
further to go for that.
clarification when Nintendo was on their heels.
A little bump. Fair though, but there was a little bit of a bump. But yeah, they're coming for a DS next. Going for that DS crown.
The standard Switch and the Switch Lite both dropped significantly, but the OLED went up slightly, plus 1.1% for OLED sales last year. Annual playing users, this is an interesting graph to look at, continues to rise every year. So now, last year's annual playing users was up to 123 million users.
Whew.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of
Nintendo
Mario
country
Kart.
right there. A lot of Mario Kart. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mario Kart got a boost as well because of the Mario movie, they said.
Mario Kart boost.
That
Dude,
Nintendo
Mario Kart,
museum,
will the Mario Kart movie make $2 billion?
that Nintendo museum they've been talking about for a bit, that's
Yeah.
going to open in the fall in Kyoto.
I can't wait for it to be like the highest selling museum of all time.
Yep. Out like more visitors than Disneyland.
So Huber, how much do you think in total, all the games combined, in just this last year?
Money wise,
No, like units.
how many units of games were sold in the last year for Nintendo?
Switch games.
I'm gonna
All Switch
say,
games.
I'm gonna say something truly unhinged. If there's like 150 million Switches and like everybody bought one or two games, I'm gonna say like 280 million.
Okay. You're high, but you're not crazy
Yeah.
high. 199.7 million.
So like 200 million.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Down 6.7% from last year. 31 Switch games just last year were million sellers, including 20 first-party games and 11 third-party games.
Wow.
And I've got the list. I don't know if you want to put any throws out there on the 20 Nintendo games that are million sellers.
Do you think Microsoft's looking at that list? Just
Yeah.
like teardrop.
Like, how do we buy one of those next?
But any thoughts? Any guesses on
Of what? On what?
the top 20?
Like from last year?
No,
Or
no,
just
yeah, the
Lifetime?
top 20
Lifetime.
games of just last year,
Just
the fiscal
last year.
Of just the last fiscal year.
Splatoon.
Well, no.
Splatoon
No.
3, yep, it's in there.
I thought we were
1.29
asking for
million,
number one.
17th place,
Sorry, I thought you were asking for number one.
which brings it to 11.96 million total.
Mario Kart 8.
Mario
That's a-
Kart, 8.18 million just last year. Life to date, 61.97 million.
Oh yeah, that's definitely number one best selling. So number one best selling game of last year for fiscal year was Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yes, 20.61 million.
20.
20.
20.
All right, almost halfway there.
But wait, can you please just read Breath of the Wild's total sales right now, Blood, in that updated amount, please?
Breath of the Wild was at 13th place, 2.04 million last year. Life to date, 31.85 million.
Uber,
31.
almost 9 years of that game, and it's at
Yeah,
31
and look
million.
how close Tears of the Kingdom is to that already. The game just came out.
It's drastically slowing down for Tears of the Kingdom.
Dude, that HD version
there's
on the 4K.
0.00 repeating to like almost
Dude, the
one
Switch-
spot away from infinite.
The Switch
chance.
2 version,
Huber,
bro.
What if they do
Just
what if they do a
get
Mario
ready.
Kart? What if it's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Deluxe?
Exactly.
But it's now it's counted
That's
as
a new
different
game.
number.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Spirit of the bet. Spirit of the bet, dude. Combine the sales, dude.
We'll have to
Combine the
combine it.
numbers.
We'll have to-
we were at, like
Spirit
Mario
of
Kart
the
8
bet.
Deluxe Fly because Mario Kart 8 was on a system that floundered and failed. If you're on a hit system, new version, new game, baby.
Mario 3D World. Because
Mario
of Bowser.
3D World and Bowser's Fury is at 12th place.
Nice.
Did another 2.1 million. Life to date, 13 $1.47 million.
Nice.
All right, let's get going. So Pokemon Scarlet Violet.
All the Pokemons.
That's in there. Ninth place.
Every single Pokemon ever made.
No.
2.82 million. Life to date,
All right.
24.92 million. So almost 25.
Nice. The one of the Mario parties. What's the most recent one?
Oh, they're both
That
on there.
All Stars,
Both on there?
baby.
Okay, both Super Mario Party and
Yeah, Mario Party Superstars was higher for the year, 2.72 million.
Okay.
Life to date is 12.89 million.
Wow.
And then Super Mario Party was 1.52 million last year. Life to date, 20.66 million.
Okay.
That game.
Smash
It's got
Brothers.
such a good name, but it's
Where's
not a
Smash
good Mario
Brothers?
Super Smash Brothers was 8th place.
Okay.
Did another 3.13 million last year. Life to
Okay.
date, 34.22 million.
Nice. What came out last year? Super Mario RPG and Super Mario Wonder.
Yep. Super
Okay,
Mario
where are
Brothers
they?
Wonder was 13.44 million.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Mario RPG was 3.31 million.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That bodes well for Paper Mario. Paper Mario's gonna sell more than that.
I agree. It's going to
Easily.
sell it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to hit like 10
Yeah.
or like 8.
What else came out last year for Nintendo? They had a lot. What am I forgetting?
GTA 5.
Oh, beginning of was that last year? Did Engage make that list? That was January.
Fire Emblem
February.
did not make that list now.
I
that was
didn't
the
think
year
it. I
before.
didn't think it would. I didn't think Engage would. Engage wasn't that great.
Is Diablo 4 on Switch? No.
Did Mario vs Donkey Kong make it?
It did.
Oh, wow,
it did
okay.
just over a million, 1.12 million.
All right, nice.
And Princess Peach was right above it, 1.22 million.
Wait, Princess Peach didn't that come out this year?
Yeah, but it's fiscal.
Oh, duh.
Ended March
Yeah.
31st. Yep.
I forgot. Yeah. Wow.
All right,
yeah.
bud.
So there could be what else came out?
I think the other big one that you missed for last year.
We're missing something. We're missing
Pikmin
something.
4.
That's it.
Pikmin
There you
4,
go.
Gabby. Why were you
There
not
we go.
screaming?
Totally. Yeah.
5th place.
There we go.
3.48 million.
3.48 million.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't repeat numbers on the ones I already did, but I'll go through the placements.
Yeah.
So Zelda was number 1, Mario Brothers Wonder was number 2, Mario Kart 8 was number 3. Mm-hmm. Number 4 was Switch Sports.
Okay. Yeah, that
which
makes sense.
Did another 3.51 million, bringing that to 13 million total. Then we got Pikmin 4 at 5th place, Mario RPG at 6th place, Animal Crossing was
Oh, yeah.
7th place.
Doesn't this prove that just good games usually sell well?
3.15
it.
million. Life to date, 45.36
So Animal
million.
Crossing's the
shit.
second best selling overall. Then, so it's that Mario Kart, Animal Crossing. Then I'm guessing Smash Brothers is number 3,
I think that's correct, but I don't know.
and then Zelda's 4, and
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild's 4. I think.
Because they were listing them as things from this fiscal year. If there was like something that somehow didn't crack a million, it's not on the list at all. So,
True.
but yeah, I think that's probably correct. Then yeah, Pokemon, or yeah, Smash Bros was at 8, Pokemon was at 9, Mario Party Superstars was 10, Mario Odyssey was at 11.
Oh,
That did-
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's just behind like Breath of the Wild. That still sells pretty decently.
Yeah, 2.2 million. Life to date, 27.96 million.
Nice.
Then we had
Don't think I'll
Mario
break
3D
30.
World. Then we had
Nah.
Breath of the Wild. Then 14th, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
Of course, that thing just keeps.
Crazy.
Still another 2 million on that sucker,
Crazy.
bringing it to 17.45 million. Then we had Super Mario Party at 16th. Luigi's Mansion 3 at
Yep.
16th. Sorry, Mario Party was 15th. But Luigi's Mansion did 1.42 million. Life to date, 14 million, which is great
Heck
for
yeah.
that game.
Good stuff.
Yes. Where's the movie? Luigi's Mansion movie.
17th was Splatoon. 18th was Princess Peach. 19th was Mario vs. Donkey Kong. And 20th, Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
There
Nice.
you go.
Did
That's-
another million, bringing it to
Nice.
7.52 total.
There you go.
Shout
nice
out,
Kirby.
Shout the hell out to Nintendo knowing how to leverage their IPs. Straight up. That list was
Right
so
now, yes.
It's a crazy list. Just Mario, Zelda, Kirby, like Pikmin.
20 million
It's all
sellers.
cooking, dude. God. Well done, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well done.
And the crazier thing again is just thinking back to the fact that they don't really drop their prices.
Yeah.
You get a sale once in a while, but
the system has
Mario and Zelda are full price, dude, forever. Forever.
That's the other thing they could technically do. They could do a price cut this fall, the first one ever,
yep. I think it's time.
to boost sales. Yeah, could be possible.
I remember back in my day, you just had to wait about a year and then
Especially
you
if
get
they
that price
announce
drop.
before November. If they announce the Switch successor before November, I could see them announcing and then dropping that price.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I could see that too.
Wait, didn't someone raise the price? Was that Sony or some shit?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Raise the price, dude. That's the era we live in.
everything's raising the prices. The
I mean-
city was sending out a thing talking about, hey, we want to raise the prices on parking meters.
God.
To be fair, Nintendo could straight up just say, guess what? The Switch is out there. That is it. We are not manufacturing any more Switches. So the whatever the difference between now and like 13.5 is at that announcement point. So like say they need 7 million more. Those 7 million out there are it. They would sell out so fast. Oh, that's dirty.
All right. Let's talk about some games. We had out of nowhere. We had technical tests, so it felt like this was gonna be a while, but no. Hades 2, just early access now.
Dude.
Just right now on Monday.
Yeah.
Wake up and like, excuse me? Hades 2 is in early access now?
Yeah, I can't even handle it.
So
cannot
you
even
streamed
handle
it
it.
last night. Damiani
Yeah.
played earlier this week.
Oh my god.
Tell
This
us
is
about
my
this.
Damiani build, dude. My Liu Kang build.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, is this what it feels like to be Damiani?
Oh, I see.
I'm just like blasting these freaks with fireballs.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew, but I guess you never really know. But you know, like Hades 2, gonna be amazing. Shocker, spoiler alert, it is. Almost immediately, you fall back into that familiar rhythm of Hades 1, where you are just you're constantly making interesting choices that matter, that completely alter every single run you go on, whether like changing which weapons you use, going for different power-ups that dramatically change your combat style, prioritizing like meta currencies to make other runs stronger, or doubling down on the current run you're in. It's just within 10 minutes I was like, oh fuck, I'm addicted. That's it. Like with 10 minutes I'm like, dude, I cannot get addicted to this right now. There are too many other games that are fully out for me to like lose 100 hours into this game. Like it is insanely addicting and already so polished. Blown away immediately. Those are my 2.5 hour impressions. It is crazy good.
I also like how they added like the secondary tool now. Like you can go out like with a pickaxe and like mine for resources.
And you have to choose
and you
one
can
of
switch
those.
them out.
Yeah.
You could get
Okay.
different things that you could use as your like secondary. I mean, it like they kind of want to like that was the thing I like noticed that like felt like a little bit more maybe immediately impactful when you had it, because I will say like I agree with everything you said, Huber. Like I like the story, I like the music. It feels good. It feels like jumping right back in. Maybe like a little too much like jumping right back in. And I understand it's early access, and that's why I decided to stop where I did, because I was like, I feel like this game is going to change a little bit more in over the next few months to a
definitely.
year. And I want to play that version, because this is good.
exactly.
They could probably just release this now and it'd be like good, but it feels a little too much like it's just a straight up continuation of what we saw in like Hades in terms of like design and gameplay. And it's good. I mean, you can always use more of it, but I'm kind of looking for like that like innovation factor. Like what is there like a new hook here? What are you like doing? And I mean, the character and the narrative, like the setting, it is like a bit of like a twist, what's going on.
Yeah.
But so far, like that's been enjoyable, but it's like not been enough for me to make it feel like too completely new. So like and like as I said, I understand it's early access and this is the process. I'm drawing a line here, and it's like I don't want to finish this game and then like wait a year and be like, oh, it's like I don't want that. I want to like I had a sample. I understand where they're starting at. I can't wait to see where they end up and then commit all my energy and resources to that.
100%. My personal thing with early access is there's already like so many finished games out for me to prioritize an early access game. Like, the most recent example is Darkest Dungeon 2 and how dramatically that evolved in the last like 6 to 10 months of the early access process that just made the entire game so much better. And that's when I like diving in, to the full thing. It is fun. I kind of treated this like I treat movie trailers, where right when a trailer comes out, maybe I'll watch it and then like, okay, I'm good until I'm in the theater seeing it. Same thing here. It's like, okay, I might play for like this first week, get my feet really wet, check the state of it now. Right. So then I can even compare it to, 6 months or a year from now. Because in the menu too, there's a roadmap. And they said cool. Early access is going through this year. So this game will be out next year.
They're saying they're not
at the minimum
any time to when this game's going to be done.
So it's still a little ways away, but it is shockingly, not even shockingly, it is just so polished and so solid right out of the gate, which is so promising.
Yeah,
it's so encouraging.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad like we're getting like the different, they have like, I don't know how many they have total, but like I saw like, quite a few different like at least 5 different like weapon types I think will be available.
Okay.
That I saw because like I had 3 unlocked. I had like
Did you get the
beginning
axe?
staff. I had the scythe, and then I had what's the third one? I went in like no, because you can pick from 4 originally, I think, and then it expands.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough resources at the time for the axe, so I cashed in on the other 2. Another was like another casting thing, I believe. The other casting weapon, and then I have the pickaxe, and then the stone. What is it? The other like one of the secondary things that. I don't.
There's
remember.
like a pickaxe and a shovel.
There's something else. Crap. How do I? Maybe I can. Like, we'll keep talking. Maybe I'll boot up the game and see what it was.
Fishing rod and stuff.
That was sick. Seeing that, I didn't get that one, but it's like, and then that like cauldron where you craft all that stuff, and then you can buy more materials if you need it. Actually, here.
Just how incredible the first one was with all that. Like, every time you think you have a handle on Hades 1, some new layer opens up.
Right.
Some new thing to get addicted to. Even something as small as, like, the heirloom system. It's like, okay, give a character the nectar, and then they'll give you an heirloom. And then you can, equip one heirloom. There's, like, 30 of these. But then when you finish encounters with an equipped heirloom, it levels up. It becomes better, and it's like just insanely addicting. It's one of the main reasons we love games, that like upgrade dopamine exploration, like finding this little thing and then like going out and killing a bunch of monsters, and now this thing is stronger. Like that's just gaming fundamentals 101. And Hades just has that perfectly. I compare it to like Rogue Legacy, just that the gold standard of roguelite progression. 100%.
Yeah. I like the little touches too, like your little frog friend you can confide in.
Oh,
like,
the best character, dude! What was his name? Like Folio or
Phrenos or something?
Yeah. Oh my god!
Okay, I'm back in the game. Yeah, it's Phrenos.
I am obsessed.
Your Dora like is a ghost or whatever, and like trying to be like a scary ghost, but then they're just like really nice. Okay, so it is here. Where are my items? The secondary items. How do you like even change this stuff? Okay, here you go. Yeah, it's the Tablet of Peace compels certain lone shades at the crossroads to gain large sums.
Okay, you can like salute them and you'll get like some currency.
Yeah, because I saw like the silver spade, the rod of fishing.
You always want to get your like economy giving skills. You want to get those first, always, for sure.
Umbral Flames was the other weapon I got. So I got the Sister Blades. You start with the Witch Staff. So I didn't get the axe, but Umbral Flames.
Nice.
Was the other one I went with there. So yeah, this is like kind of like a nice setup and stuff. I mean, just like walking through the environments, like seeing like walking over the shades, watching them like vanish. Like they have the view thing again. Remember how you could like view going up through the underworld or whatever as in Hades 1. Now they have like a different view for you. Like you're looking through like the valley at first and it's going up and up. So like I kind of like how they did that. And like as, you know, new characters show up in the hub environment. Like they just do a really good job with the hub environment. And like it seems like they're continuing in this. It just looks good.
All the little like mini quests you get from like the big board where it's like there's just always something to invest in. It is so addicting. And like when you combine that level of progression with just how good it actually feels to fight things and go through, like if you're not even thinking about any of the progression, any of that stuff, just going through each floor and each combat encounter is really, really fun. But then when all that stuff just comes together and in one big package, it's like the ultimate game. That's it. There's no other way to say it. I love when every part of a game comes together like that, and it's just like the top tier.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you're saying, like it looks surprisingly good for a game that's in early access.
Yeah.
Just seeing your footage from last night.
For a while too, this thing will be like, it's like a year away.
Yeah. Were there any bits other than like very obvious messaging and stuff that stuck out as early access? Like were there characters where it's like, oh, this person seems like it should be voiced, but they haven't hired an actor yet or something?
Charon's in-game model has the big hat, but then his art is like a ring wraith with like a robed cloak, so it's just different. So it's like placeholder art. But like the art looks awesome. So it's like it's like maybe they should do the in-game model like the art actually, because he looks sick. Yeah. So
Damiani, you said you got to the second boss and like that's your stopping point. You're good.
Because also it was like really cool what it was, like what they did. And I was like, all right. I mean, I don't know if we're trying to avoid mentioning it. I've definitely seen people get past it. I've seen like further into the game.
That's the crazy thing, Damiani, is everyone is saying that this game already has more content than all of Hades 1. How's that even possible?
That's
how's that even
insane.
possible?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of levels and bosses, I can see it because like Hades 1 has a lot of content.
Hades 1, you fight that Hydra so many times.
At the same time, you do repeat those levels
change.
a lot.
Yes. So the first boss, the first area boss just changes mechanic-wise, can change. I thought 3 different variations of the first area boss. And it was like, cool. Like, it keeps you on your toes. And it's
because when you beat her, she's like, yo, when I see you back out there, like, you better be ready.
It was like her clones started doing different types of attacks. I was like, oh, crap. What are these attacks now? Like, first it was like a bullet hell thing. Now you're doing some crazy AoE shit nonstop. I'm like, all right. I was like, okay. So I assume the other bosses will do that, but like thematically, like the second boss is like, it's a very famous Greek mythology creature thing. And it's like, okay. And then they run wild with it. Like, it's like kind of like goofy, but like, I really liked what they're doing. And then like the first mechanic, I was like, AoE's all over. I was like, oh god, AoE dodging. I was like, 3-1 dodges, baby. Let's go. And bullet hell mixed in. I was like, all right, let's go. And all the while, like, because there's multiple enemies in the fight, it's like multiple boss characters, and it's like, oh, and they're trying to do stuff, and like it's part of the atmosphere. It's not just like a battle mechanic. They're also doing something else, and it's like when you attack them, it impacts that element of the fight as well, like an aesthetic thing. And it's like, oh, that's like kind of cool. You know? And when one goes down, like you lose that element of the aesthetic. It's like, oh,
like
so
one thing I love about Hades, I really want to stress above even Rogue Legacy 2, is each run, how much you can change it up just depending on what they offer you.
Yeah.
And just having to make those choices on a run is like it's one of the most fun things I do, like in a game. I love it so much. Just like what's being offered at the shop, or like,
right. Well, and then
which
too,
power-ups are in which room here? Like, what can I get? And just how much that changes every single
Yeah,
time.
because it's like you lean on a specific boon or whatever. It's like, oh, I like that. That like really worked for me or whatever.
Yeah, but then it's not
like
offered.
Or it's not offered.
Yeah.
Or you realize that like, oh, this boon really worked for me because it's a good combination with something else I had, whether it's a weapon or another boon or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you were showing the fire stuff, Huber. Like early on, like I love the ice, the freezing enemies.
Because
I was like, yo, just especially the ones at the barrier where they don't like get hit stop. They just keep doing their action. But you freeze them, it's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I'll break your little shield level, and now it's just your normal HP is like, let's go. Yeah, and like all like the charge attacks too that you have, like it takes like a little getting used to, like because you got to aim a lot of it, and because you had the other thing in Hades 1, that thing you shot out or whatever. What was it called again?
I forget the
That's
name.
not here in this one. You got basically you have like your regular attack has like a thing like so the default weapon like you can send out something in front and behind of you in like a straight line, and then you have like a big orb projectile you can send out, which that's how I beat like the first boss, was like
Hell yeah.
doing a lot of those like during a lot of attacks because it's like range and it did so much damage. Like let me get in some of these, like you want me to stay away from you, cool, here's some giant energy balls, take that.
Giant energy balls.
Nice.
Yeah. Incredible. Holy crap. It's like I want to play right now, but also it's like I should wait. I should just wait.
Right.
I should just wait. That's it.
Or like you said, first week.
Yeah.
Jump in for a little while.
Yeah, maybe
All right,
I'll
let
try
it
to beat
cool
that
off.
second boss, Damiani. And that'll be that.
Sick.
Yeah.
We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. Tell your friends, leave a review on those podcast things. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
This podcast is brought to you by Abiotic Factor. Abiotic Factor, developed by Deep Field Games, is a narrative-driven survival crafting game set in an interdimensional universe of weird forms and bizarre tapestries. Available now on Steam Early Access. Caught between a paranormal containment failure, a military crusade, and chaos from a dozen realms, the world's greatest scientists must survive against the universe's biggest threats. Abiotic Factor features a fully drop-in, drop-out cooperative campaign for up to 6 players that sees your science team planning your escape from the GATE Cascade Research Facility, a sprawling underground labyrinth of offices, laboratories, mines, and anomalous containment cells hidden away from the outside world. Harness the most advanced technology unknown to mankind and check out Abiotic Factor on Steam by following the link in the description below. Selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing no matter how you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify has got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify is great because no matter how big or small you are, like little tiny Henry here, they're there to help grow with you and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/allies, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/allies now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/allies.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. So yes, Animal Well. So I'm going to hold off on the footage for a second because we're going to talk about this in a couple layers. I'm not going to spoil things, but before we get into talking about this game, I'm just going to tell you straight up, if you are into Metroidvanias, I know there's a lot this year. This one's top of the list. This is up there.
Oh.
And if you are into games where you're solving puzzles and there's lots of secrets and you're not afraid to take some notes here and there to dig deeper, the best way to experience this game is just to know nothing.
Yeah.
Go in,
Okay.
know nothing, and when you've gotten well beyond the credits and if you've sniffed out as many things as you can, then try to like find some people to talk through some of these other secrets and figure out what the heck else is going on.
Crazy.
Because yeah, that's essentially what my experience was. They had a Discord set up for reviewers, and it's like so right now, it took me 6 hours to get to the credits.
Okay.
I have spent almost 30 hours total with the game, sniffing out secrets, trying to
It's
solve
blood
things.
sniff.
This sounds like blood bait.
And,
Yeah, this
and
is the
other people in
most
this
blood bait,
Discord.
dude. This is like Tunic secret ending. all
Rebecca
over
Valentine
again.
is over 50 hours. Guy from Tech Raptor is over he's put 90 hours in.
These are
You're
not
slacking,
positives, blood. This is not a positive
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know
I don't
about
want to
these
hear
6
90
hours
hours.
of credits, but 90 hours put into the game. It's like
that's how obsessed they are with trying to like sort this stuff out, right? Like anytime like you open up Discord and like there's a whole bunch of messages and like people are like sleuthing things together. Like that's the kind of experience.
That was like
yeah.
the privilege of playing Dragon's Dogma 2 pre-release with Isla and everyone. It was a similar thing of like, wait, what is this?
Right.
What's going on here?
Because these
Did
are the
you
guys,
find this?
These are the people writing the guides.
So fun.
Trying to figure this stuff out.
That's
yeah.
very
I was gonna
fun.
say, do you worry, Blood, that with this being out, that people will just, who go look up online, like, are going to be like robbed? I mean, it's an obvious yes, but like, do you think it's going to happen to a lot of people? Like, more people just going to choose to like, I'm going to go and look this up and see what the secret is, and
to
not
some
have
degrees,
that.
but
like,
I think people are being respectful enough with like how they're presenting the guides and stuff that you can get like, even like when I was in a Discord, like I knew of certain things that people were talking about, but then I was still like, okay, that put me on the path, and then I can still sort of do the follow-up work to like put the puzzle together, right? Mm-hmm. But anyways, know nothing, go in, and if you want to know more, we're going to talk about more and start rolling this footage. If you want to just jump in, go ahead and skip to the next segment of this podcast. All right,
Show the
John,
footage.
start playing this game. So yes, Animal Well is I don't even have said the game name before that. Anyways, but you're playing as a little thing. I don't even know what you are. Nobody knows what you're. Just like this little potato guy
You're a meat wad.
that comes out of a flower. And Huber, like, not only is this like going for Metroidvania, but like it is very like creepy survival horror vibes. Like like you got these like right away tutorial areas. Like this ghost comes out at you and like you can't.
Looks like a Pac-Man ghost.
Kind of, yeah. and this is one thing that kind of makes it different than a lot of more recent Hollow Knight inspired Metroidvanias.
Shout out Hollow Knight.
Is that this does not have all the RPG trappings. This doesn't have character progression. Does not even have, like, they say no combat essentially. Like you can't just like walk up to things and attack things. Now there are situations where you defeat certain enemies and bosses.
Every survival horror game does have a crank, Blood.
This is nice. But a lot of it is about using tools. So like here, like there's a row of firecrackers, and you can use firecracker to scare off the ghost.
Okay. So defensive weapon, defensive tool.
deploy countermeasures.
Yeah.
It is more of that kind of classic Metroidvania of like things that are it's about using items.
Cool.
It's about figuring out how to use items within the environment that you're exploring and figuring it out.
Yo.
Yeah, and what's really great is like, yeah, at first it looks like, oh, this is just, like a simple Super NES sprite game. It's like, but no, you see all of these cool effects that just like, no way you would be able to do this. Like, you've got the fireworks popping off with the smoke and stuff. Like, when you go through grass and vines and all of that, like, they move as you go through them. Like, they've got like physics swinging around.
Yeah,
and
it looks
all of that.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking game. But again, like, the audio experience is like there's
Dude, 2024, the year of audio.
Yeah,
For real.
It really, there are times where like I had to kind of like step back because like, oh wait, I'm just the kind of like I'm a little creeped out right now.
I love that. I love when you're creeped out, blood.
And it's called Animal Well for a reason, and there are these animals all throughout this game. And,
is that wolf a house nod?
And that's the thing is you have to figure out like, are these animals just here in the background, or is there some way that I can interact with them? Is there some tool that might be, useful in this situation? So it's like, that's the thing. This is a game in many ways about layers, right?
Yeah.
So you've got the basic Metroidvania layer, and like I said, you can play the game, you can get through it in 6 hours.
Yeah.
But
Crit
then,
pathing.
Yeah, but then it's like, like any Metroidvania, like there's these like open spots in your map.
Yeah, you want to see those.
That you want to go and explore and find. And so many of these rewards, Huber, for like even things that just seem like simple collectibles.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them, like when you kind of get to a milestone or whatever, then it's like, oh, the reward for that was actually really good and something actually pretty cool and useful.
I love meaningful rewards, Blood Earth. That is my love language.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you kind of saw like earlier, like the map is an item that you pick up, right? It's not just something that's in your UI.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things like that to where it's like they're like useful functionalities and things that, you basically have to discover and figure out either where to get an item or how to use something that you might not know how to use.
That is the most NES vibes.
The platforming?
Ever.
Bubble platforming?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so NES,
there's
dude.
a lot of tricky platforming like this.
Love
This
it.
is actually
Platforms,
this is almost like a tutorial in a way.
Oh, it rules. I love
because
it.
it's like once you get
It's
the
so
rhythm
fun.
of jumping on those bubbles, it's not too bad.
Oh, I love it.
But there's a lot of like the cool stuff here too. Like it blows you back with the spray jet. So it's like you have to like not get knocked into the water or the spikes, but then still try to hop on the bubbles.
Cool.
One little thing.
What's the penalty for death, Bloodworth, in this game?
Okay, so
How far back do you go? What do you lose? What's going on?
so one thing I like is that if you fall in like the water,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt you or anything. You don't lose any hearts from that. But you lose from like spikes and stuff, of course.
Yeah.
If you run out of hearts, you will go back to the last save point.
Okay.
Some of the things that you pick up are still retained, though.
Okay.
So it's not like a hard only manual save.
What's like the most
But-
you had to go back? Like 10 minutes, 5 minutes? Nothing
It-
crazy.
That's the thing, yeah. It never felt that crazy.
Cool.
Like your save points are these little phones
Nice.
that are all throughout the game, and so usually it's not that bad. And there are, while you cannot tell you about like how they work, there are ways of getting around the world more quickly as well. So you're not just like fully like retreading the map every
Yeah.
time you want to go somewhere. So yeah, some very cool stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, first layer is just like basic Metroidvania. Second layer is like trying to do what you would normally do in a Metroidvania kind of completionist run. It's like, okay, where are the items I missed? Where are the pickups? Where are the little holes
Clearing
on the map?
out the map, dude.
And then the third
yeah.
layer is this stuff like Tunic and Fez, where it's like, okay, you really, and you'll find some of this stuff while you're playing, but like you really need to be paying attention to things that are in the background. If something looks a little suspicious, maybe it does mean something, you know?
Cool.
Ooh.
Excellent.
And there's there's a lot of stuff like that, and there are some parts on the map that we haven't figured out how to get to yet. Believe it or not, that are like just taunting us.
Cool.
Like literally taunting us. And there's
The industry brain trust can't figure it out.
yeah. But then there's like some of these solutions and some of the ways that this thing goes outside of the box are really cool, and we're just like all waiting with bated breath for like the public in the official Discord to come across them. And like there's something today, they're like, oh, they almost got to that thing, but they didn't.
Awesome.
And there's another thing that was like, oh, they solved that already? Like this thing that we just like, because we had this game for like a month before release. And so I only started playing it last weekend, but some other people have been playing it for weeks. And this thing that we just discovered like the other day, like people in the public Discord already got it.
Yeah.
They already figured that one out.
It's hilarious.
But we're still waiting for some of the other things. So it is super cool. It is super rewarding. It is really like the unexpected community vibes of this are wild because again, I haven't experienced something like this since Animal Crossing came out in 2020. Where like I was in a Discord with people and we're just talking, and like Jason Schreier's in there and Totila's in there and Beck Valentine and like all these people were just like, we're trying to put our heads together and just figure out this game that we've all quote unquote beaten already, but there's just all of these little things to work into. And not only that, there's so many cool things with just the basics, with just like how your tools work and finding, extra little things that you may not have, been aware of right away, and the different weird little animals, and like, okay, what is this bird doing? Like, how do I work with this bird? How do I work with this yo-yo? It is super cool. It is super special. I expected to like this game, but I did not expect this game to be this. Yeah. And so
I'm tier.
Yeah, I'm loving it, and I don't know if you have questions or what you think, but yeah.
I mean, I think you nailed it, Blood. Is there like, is it what? Can you even tell us like the objective? Is that a spoiler? What the hell is what is your objective in this?
Again, that's like something like, you don't really.
Yeah.
You're
just kind of
make some assumptions.
Yeah, cool.
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 Like the Steam page says like, go in any order you want to get items.
Yeah, that's actually a really.
Yeah.
I should say that's a really good point. Like, there are areas that you need certain items to get to, but it doesn't feel as like obvious, right? It's not like there's this big gate that says, "Oh, you can't go here."
Yeah.
It's like you try to go somewhere and you're like, "Well, I guess I can't hit that switch or whatever for whatever reason," and so I guess I'll try to see if I can do something later.
Yeah.
But you can go in like multiple directions right from the get-go and explore different areas. And I think people are going to, get through this game in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And again, with people like monitoring the public Discord, they're like, wait, they got where? With only those items? Like, how did they do that?
Very cool.
Yeah.
So if you like exploration,
Yes. Very much about exploration and puzzle solving.
love it.
Yeah.
Sign me up, Blood. I'm in.
Yeah. And then, if you guys want to have like a separate channel in our Discord or whatever, we're asking if people want to open that up.
Yeah.
Because I do think like a public Discord where you've got like thousands of people, like it's a little bit too much to process.
Well, no, yeah, I mean that's.
If you have just a smaller group where you're working on it together, it's a little bit more collaborative.
I am worried that will be lost, and like Damiani was saying, like when the guides come out, because like. Even when I streamed Hades 2, the game had been out for 2 days, and just you get, like, information is just immediate. So you get people in there who are like, yeah, that does that, that does that, that does that, that does that. And it's like, dude, I've been playing 30 minutes. Like, let me like, the part of the joy is figuring it out and having that, like, having those realizations where you're like, oh, that does that. Because I learned it while playing the game.
Yeah.
So I am.
But that's why the
that
collaborative side of it, like I said, like once you've gotten like a good way, through figuring out as much, like you're almost up not quite against the wall, but you're kind of getting there, like you've been playing for a long time, then like to have somebody to bounce off of you and just kind of like give you that one thing. It's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
You know? And there are things when they sent out like the spoiler list that like, oh, I wouldn't have even thought of that as a spoiler.
Yeah.
It's just a simple little thing that I like figured out right away. But I can see how it's like, you know, again, like that reward, that like epiphany moment of like, oh, I can do that. So where else can I do that? Where else can I try that? There are people that like got certain items that were like, I didn't understand what this does. And then when I saw what it does, then like now I'm like running all over the map looking for places to use it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Super cool stuff. And I also think that like, you know, while there are puzzles that take some effort and some time and some things that we have not solved yet,
Yeah.
I feel like there a lot of this stuff feels pretty natural. It's a lot of it really just comes down to observation, right? And there's like some of these things where it's like I didn't see that thing, but then like once I got kind of like again that little tip off, it's like, hey, over here, this room's got something, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I'm looking at it, it's like, and I'm like, oh crap. Those
Ta-da!
kind of moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
So that's why it kind of works to have that group where like everybody's respecting each other.
Yeah.
Like people aren't just gonna like tell you the answer right away. It's like, do you want to know?
Yeah.
I can tell you that you're going up the wrong tree. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
You know, kind of
Love
thing.
that.
So, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Sorry, Damian, you had another thought.
Nah.
Okay.
That was pretty cool to hear, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
You in for this, Tommyani? Here we go.
I mean, I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it at some point, but like, I'm not. So I don't necessarily like So like this happened with Tunic, where everyone was telling me to like play Tunic, and it got on my nerves to a point. I know, like it sounds awesome, but it's like some like. I don't always like hunting for secrets. I'm not like I don't generally like playing games where it's just all about doing that. And that's like,
makes
it
sense.
sounds like this is like the depth of this game is that experience. I am more at this point with Metroidvania. It's like, what cool powers do you have for me that give me cool traversal abilities? What cool boss fights do you have? And what cool, like, you know, evolving abilities. So like Prince of Persia Lost Crown. It's like, that was awesome. Whenever Silk Song drops, I'm like, heck yeah. Like that was a huge hurdle to get over. It was like Silk Song. It's like a Metroidvania that's like hard as shit and like it's 30 plus hours. I'm like, hell no. I'm like, I was so like not into that. And then I started playing and I'm like, oh, good God, this is amazing. And it's like, because the combat, I'm like, yes, your combat feels good. I don't feel like I'm getting like bullshit deaths. This is great. And that's the thing I generally gravitate towards. I honestly think, I hate to say this, this is a 6-hour game. It's cute and like, but also can like get very like dark and like, you know, a little spooky at times. And it's like very, you know, like great music, good environments. And there's like a few parts you get to like figure out how to get forward. And it's like, it's very like open with like which zone you want to like go to first. That sounded like fantastic to me. But like looking at a room and like figure out these secrets and stuff, it's like, I don't, like my brain capacity for that, I feel like is not very high. And you start losing me at that point, I feel like, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
fair enough.
But that's what I think, Damiani, is that's why like I'm trying, you know, like, I think that's why it's good that they're presenting it like this idea of layers, because I think all that stuff that you like and you enjoy is there, and you can dig into it as like this other stuff as much as you want. And like even like one of the things I was struggling with, which was more dexterity based, kind of like more platforming based. They're like, you know, they were telling me in the Discord, like, you know, this is an optional thing. Like you don't have to worry about it to, you know, complete this. You know, like this is like third layer stuff that you're worrying about, right? So I think that's the thing, is that like it actually does really work on all of those things. And it's like if you get pulled in just naturally by those other layers and you want to dig into these puzzles, you can do that. If you don't really want to, or if you get to the point where it's like, I just want to look up where these other things are and do whatever, then that's fine, because there's so much good mechanically and level design wise anyways to sink your teeth into. So I think to like still maybe give it a try and just see how deep you want to go with it. But I do think that like
See how deep the rabbit hole goes.
yeah, I do think that it's very yeah, I think most people are want to get through all of this kind of like second layer
Gotta see the credits.
elements. But I mean like even beyond credits. Like
okay.
I think this like the second layer elements I think people are really going to want to do and it'll be really rewarding. And it's that third layer of the crazy puzzles that Damiani's talking about that it's like, okay, I've already put 20 hours into this game. I'm, maybe I'll
Time
just
to hang
see
it up.
what this other crazy stuff
Yeah.
is because I can't figure out anything else. Yeah.
Sick.
What's next? Oh, we got Crow Country, Huber. Crow Country. Sick game list.
That was a Resident Evil Zombie.
Bro, cunt.
So yeah, so PS1 style. We played a demo of this a while back.
Yeah, dude. Excited to hear what you think
Survival
about
horror.
Crow Country. Excited to hear your thoughts out there on Crow Country.
In
Don't skip this one.
abandoned amusement park, very Brandon Jones.
Yeah. One of the things I love about this game is how it just drops you right in. You don't know what the hell is going on. And the way the story progresses is very engaging. It's like, what is going on here? I want to know more. And you learn about it by picking up documents or seeing things in the environment or talking to NPCs. There's like NPC people that'll just like show up and be like, who are you? What's going on? What the hell? So that stuff is really fun. The atmosphere, top notch. There's talking about the year of sound, Bloodworth. The sound in this game, like jump scare city, dude. Look out. Just like loud crashes that would just like make me jump out of my seat playing this game. Yeah, so you just show up at this amusement park and you're looking for someone. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's the premise.
Nice.
And it's got all the things that I love about survival horror. Item management, puzzle solving, combat. It knows that you want the shotgun and holds it back for a good minute. Dude, it just taunts you.
Tormenting Huber.
Dude, they know. They give you shotgun shells before you get a shotgun. You see a shotgun before you can get a shotgun. You think you got the shotgun, you didn't actually get the shotgun. Like, it is so good. Yeah, and just really solid puzzle design where I think I'm getting frustrated and I'm going to look it up and then I solve it. It's like, oh my God, this puzzle is like getting me. Wait a minute, let me think about this. Oh, okay, I got it. So like you're always right there with figuring out these puzzles, and it has your standard survival horror stuff where you find a crank or, you enter a number in a keypad because of a document you found, stuff like that. The Freakos themselves sound and look pretty good, but, that's where I'm a little harsh on the game, I guess, if I had to,
Because it looks like even they look a little bit like Final Fantasy VII characters.
Yeah, the Freakos are good, but
that guy's kind of crazy.
there's some really good Freakos, but like I always think of the gold standard, dude. I always think of like, you play Resident Evil 2 for 10 minutes and a licker is there and that is fucking iconic. You play Resident Evil remake and it's just like that first zombie, And I think of Guillermo del Toro always talking about like horror and it's like, yo, you want an image that is ingrained in people's brain when they think of the thing, and it's like, dude, you just think of that licker on the ceiling. You think of that zombie turning over.
You think of that kangaroo in Animal Well.
And it's like, I haven't encountered anything where I've been like, whoa, like that, just like monster design in general. That's it. Everything else though, top notch. Really, really addicting. Good map too. It'll like circle an area if there's still like puzzles or things to do in that area, so you're never like fully lost. The environment itself is like just dangerous enough, dude. Shinji Mikami would be so proud because it's like every time you leave a save room, you're just like, oh, I got a little bit of a ways to go here. I'm a little nervous. Like, so it's like every time you set out to go somewhere, it's like you gotta go through a little bit to get to another safe area. So I think that stuff is spaced out really, really well. And then you just have like your pistol, your shotgun, you have grenades you can throw, med kits and antidotes if you get poisoned. And just managing that stuff is pretty fun. You have to be conscious of it because monsters take a good amount of pistol damage. You can aim for the head. There's not a lot of accessibility options in this game. So like my sensitivity when I'm aiming down or like aiming with the reticle is like kind of unwieldy, but just something I got to get used to.
Yeah.
Headshots do more damage. You do more. It's actually really cool. You do more damage the closer you are to an enemy.
Oh,
but it also
nice.
puts you in more danger, which I really like.
That's great.
Risk reward, baby. Yeah.
So, yeah, just really great atmosphere. A nice, slow burn. Good atmosphere, throwback. Like, if you love survival horror at all, this is a must play. This is a do not skip. Do not skip this game.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yep.
Did you finish it, or how far are you in?
I'm pretty deep. I haven't finished it yet.
Okay.
But I'm very deep. Yep.
Very, very nice.
Isla really likes it too. I think Isla's even like a little further than me.
Okay.
It's too bad she's not here. She was bummed
Yeah.
she wasn't going to be
She
here.
was just texting me updates on where she is in Animal Well too.
Yeah. She was super bummed. She's like, oh, I want to talk about Crow Country so bad. Like, she loves it. So,
Nice.
yeah. Because, like, I think of...
Well, you guys will be without me next week, so you might be able to do some runbacks.
Totally. Yeah. I think of Signalis. That's maybe the closest comparison I can make to, like, the size and the scale, of this survival horror type game. Signalis is like a cult classic now already. I really like Signalis, but I don't love it as much as other people. I think it was just like a good game. Like I liked it. Crow Country I like a bit more than Signalis. So
Nice.
just that
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
praise. You guys were really hyped on that game.
Yeah. So just it's just the atmosphere and the vibes are so good. It's so good. And I love a good document. Finding some newspaper clipping and it like telling you about some past event that went down at the amusement park is like, this is
That's
my
massive Huber, baby.
Yeah, going into a save room, dude, and there's just like a fireplace crackling. It's like, yes.
Dude, how many of those newspaper clippings you had me read in Evil Within? You're like, every time he was
all of
like,
them.
hey, I don't mean to do this, but stop.
Yep.
Go read this.
Gotta read it. Gotta read all that stuff. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we got some documents to read later.
Yeah. So super, super good. Put it on your list. Put it on your radar. Don't skip.
Very cool.
Here.
Yep.
Damiani, you got one more for us. You're back into Vampire Survivor for that Operation Guns update.
So, Huber, remember how we said like we put like how many hours into this? You're like, I put 50 hours in.
I hit the wall at the very, very end. Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I put like 55 hours or whatever
55.
Yeah. This Operation Guns DLC.
Yeah.
My playtime's out like 78 hours. But it doesn't seem like it's as much. It's because every run's like 30 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And there's all these... So like, again, these DLC packs, they add new characters, like a new map, new weapons and evolutions with those weapons. And then they have like all these extra secrets to unlock, these side objectives, which is like survive 15 minutes with this character, evolve this gun, find this item on the map. And Operation Guns is their Contra crossover this time. So you're getting like characters from Contra. You're getting, I have them all here. Like Billy is the first one you get. He just uses like the typical like little like long gun that's like constantly firing. You get like Lance. He's got like I think like the short gun. They have some like robot character in there, like a mech looking dude who's pretty cool.
I think that's a Probotector, isn't it?
Yeah, Probotector. That's their name.
Because I don't know if I actually picked it, but there's a Love and Respect submission. They were talking about Probotector because in Europe they basically censored the game. So instead of Contra, it was Probotector, and instead of playing as those dudes, you were playing as robots. You weren't dudes shooting a bunch of dudes. It was just all robots.
And the Probotectors are available in Operation Galuga.
Yeah.
And that's
As
what
extra
this is
characters
for. This is basically, the map is called it's like Galuga. It's like it's a cool map because like you start like in a the west side where you start like a jungle area. Then you go over the bridges, the iconic bridges. I haven't found a way to blow them up though. I like thought they were. But then it goes like into a ruined city, and then you go like into the alien infestation like zone as well. And like the enemies, like they come in waves, so like they're just gonna change. But like the bosses, like the every few minute bosses, they're like bosses from the games. Like the big final one, the 25-minute one's the big turtle thing from Contra 3.
So
the big
sick.
head and shit. But like the cool secret is like I think around the 25-minute mark, a big flashing lower third of scrolling text comes on. Alert, alert, alert. Giant enemy alien presence detected. Powerful enemy alien presence detected. Attack it aggressively.
Sick.
And it like has an arrow directing you. And you sit on the teleport pad, you fight the first boss from Contra 3, the one with the walls and you go like the skeleton head thing that like shoots the flames. They like recreated that fight for you.
Awesome.
It's like freaking sick, and you're using your weapons. And then there's like a secret level unlock, Hectic Highway, which is like you're on the bikes, the hover bikes going across like the cities and ruins and stuff. You're just like going past, and they're throwing like waves and waves of enemies at you. It's basically like, and they also, so the cool thing is the weapons are all Contra weapons in this one. You got like the short gun, the long gun, you got spread shot, you got laser, you got flamethrower, you got some crazy shit like
Flamethrower's gotta be good.
You got like arrow, like giant beam arrow. You got like there's one other one. You got like this like metal claw thing, and their evolutions are sick. So the base 3 weapons, their evolutions are like you get 2 like fighter jet drones with you that like just like so you have like multiple drones if you evolve them correctly. It's just like you're distributing the bullet hell now, and then like the laser one's just insane. The laser one, the screen was just covered with crisscrossing laser. I couldn't see shit. I was like, what am I even looking at here? I mean, the flamethrower one's cool. It evolved. It just like sends waves of flames and through the enemies like constantly. It's just like really fun to see these weapons, and like I think they did a pretty good job with the theming. They got Contra music from a bunch of different Contra games are in there as well, and you can like obviously when you lock you can select the tracks. What was the other thing? Oh, the pickups. So the normal pickups are like the clock that stops time. They have those, but they added Contra ones. There's like the shield one. There's like the rapid fire, which makes you fire at like a faster rate. I think there's one more, and I forget what it actually does. But those are also like, there's like the missile item. It's just like the cross pendant. But it's a different animation. Just like nukes everything on the screen. So like it kills like all the enemies on the screen. So like it was nice how they worked it in within like the Vampire Survivors universe, but it's like Contra elements. And yeah, like just seeing like the Contra style enemies just swarming on the screen, it's fun. I know the one they did previously was an Among Us one. I don't have that one. I don't have the one before that. I basically did the first DLC, the moon, snow moon peak, whatever, kind of like feudal Japan inspired one. And then I moved on. At that point I hit the Huber point of like I'm gonna move on from Vampire Survivors. But like I feel like I've been away from it a good amount of time to like it hooked me
get back in.
But that's not it. So this is cool. Like it's great that they added this DLC. It feels good. It's like got cool new item combinations. But they added an adventure mode. They added some like there's the patch. There's a laboratory patch. They added like the lab with the train. It's the Resident Evil stage, it's a biohazard stage, and it's the part where you're like escaping in the movie. It's like the biohazard, and you hit a switch and a train comes by and just runs over all the enemies and stuff. It's like sick. It's like just cool how they are like putting like it's they're not endless maps anymore. Like they're more confined. Like the Contra one, there's secret paths. There's like hidden paths through forests that you gotta find. I'm like, how the hell do I reach this spot over here? There's an item over there, but like there's no. I thought I had to blow up the bridge. It's like so I started hugging the walls, and all of a sudden like I walked through forest. Like it just changes it adds a transparency effect, and now I'm walking through a path through the forest. I'm like, wait, what? There's just cool stuff like that, and like unique effects they're triggering. So like I do applaud what they're doing with the maps to make them a little bit more interesting to explore. And then like there's an inverse version of every map. And this one, it just like recolors it. It looks like you're just like in hell on Doom, like you're in hell in Doom. It just like looks like hell. It's like insane. Everything's on fire. It's like, wait, what? This is crazy. And everything's upside down. But the adventure mode, it like starts you back over. Like there's a little bit of like a narrative. It's just like text stuff with like a still image. So there's multiple parts, and each map has like a story, but you're not playing like the whole map. You're playing like a part of the map, and you only have certain characters unlocked, and like you only have certain like you have a whole new upgrade system. It's the same one, but like it's starting you over, and it's like testing how well you know combinations and like what you should really invest in to get through it. So it's like a little bit more of a challenge, I feel like, than the base game. Because at this point, you can get through any like if you've put enough points into your permanent unlocks, you've just like you can blow this game way up. It's not even a challenge. But the venture mode is actually a bit like a challenge. It's like it feels like you're starting the game from scratch again in terms of like level of like, I'm not overpowered. I have to work at this stuff. But they're it's not just like I'm just throwing back in the same map. It's giving you a little bit more of like a challenge. Like here's an objective, like kill this thing, or like you have to like fuse these, like evolve these weapons before you can progress in the next part. And so there's like I feel like I'd like to see it maybe developed a little bit more, but it's just something fun they added. I think it was free, so it didn't even like cost money for it, so they just dropped it in for free. So it's just nice to have something extra. But yeah, there's like just I can't believe how much is in this game at this point. Like I feel like if I had the other two DLCs and had to play through them all, like I'd have 100+ hours in this game. It's insane. And yeah, like I thought I combined so many different things. I thought I was like gonna like blow up my computer or something. Like it was like even more insane what was going on screen than I've ever seen before. I was like, this is just insanity. But it's fun. Yeah, it's like really fun. I would say, and it's very cheap. It's like what, $2 or something for the DLC. That's wild. But I will say, like, if you've already been putting a lot into Vampire Survivors, like if you've already put just 50 hours, 30 to 50 hours, I would say maybe hold off on DLC. Like if you like, the DLC is a perfect reason to come back to like, I wish I could play another like Vampire Survivors again. It's like, well, for $2 you can get a bunch of new content, and it'll feel like, you know, kind of newish but fun again, and you'll like rediscover it. So like, it's kind of like this is like kind of smart DLC. I feel like very cheap and adds like a good amount of content that like, and like the nature of the game, a little bit of nostalgia
in there too.
Yeah. So I mean, good stuff. And like the last two have been crossovers. So it's like, what else are they going to crossover with next? Like, I mean,
Shovel Knight
was, like, what's coming? I'm very curious.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been back in for any of the DLC, I don't think. But it's like, yeah, like kind of like you're saying. It's like, I played for quite a bit, and I got
my money's worth.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's so cheap, but like you don't really need to do it. It is just like a little bit more the same with like new weapons. I kind of wish, even though I said like it's great that I got value, like I got 20 hours out of this, I kind of wish I didn't have to put 20 hours into this DLC to get like everything out of it. Like I feel like it could maybe be like cut in half, and I would be like, man, like 10 hours for $2? Like, heck yeah. Like, that's insane. Like, I'll take that. But yeah, it felt like because of, like, how long you have to like play through like a 30-minute like map. Even with the hyper option, it cuts it to 15. Time just, you don't realize how much time is going by. So I feel like they need like even maybe like a faster mode than even what they have with the hyper mode. I feel like would be kind of
200
like nice.
cc.
Yeah, there you go. just off the rails fast, like 5-minute like speedball. What was it in a paintball, speedball, whatever?
Oh my god!
These matches are meant to be over quickly because there's no cover or whatever. Like they need something like that, or it's like, here's one weapon, that's it. How long can you last? Let's get like 5-minute time limit, or I don't know, something better than that, obviously.
Nice,
sick.
Don.
Yes.
You got to check out the reveal of John Wick Pinball. We put a video of this up the other day.
So sick.
John Wick.
Yeah.
So sick,
so,
dude.
yeah,
John
tell
Wick
us a little bit about this.
4.
We got a whole video, but just a quickie.
Yeah, real quick, we're going to talk about just a couple of points I wanted to make. Stern, who is making a bunch of killer pinballs lately, continues to knock it out of the park with the announcement of John Wick. Huber and I got to help and make the debut this thing. Interview Stern marketing director Zach Sharp, who's also a pro pinball player, highly rated for many years. So check out our interview that is up on the site right now.
Hell yeah.
But basically, I did want to just highlight a couple of things about this.
Dude, it looks sick. The Continental right there looks so sick.
A couple of things that Stern is doing that's so cool with this game in particular. First of all, it's John Wick. The thing that surprised me right out of the gate that I did not know, that pumped me up, Huber, it's packed full of lore from all 4 movies.
Yeah, I see characters from 4 down there.
Yep, so they've got lore and story and missions from all 4 movies. That totally surprised me. I thought this was just going to be the first movie. So
I feel about John Wick Chapter 4 like I do The Evil Within 2, in that it is one of the greatest action movies ever made.
I know. You said it many times. I know you're going to be so excited.
This looks so good, dude.
So, so they packed a bunch of stuff in here. You can see a lot of the details on the interview. But a couple of things on this table that's so cool is it's the first time they're introducing this dynamic AI combat system. Okay,
so now insane, man.
AI.
What the hell?
And you'll learn a little bit more in the
high table, dude, coming for us, Don.
Exactly, truly. And so, like, depending how you're playing, how you're completing missions, how you're progressing, it will either change the difficulty up or down. It'll scale it, So if you have certain targets, certain amount of like bad guys you're trying to take out during a certain mission, it's going to like multiply the positioning of them, give you more of them, give you less, depending how you're playing. So I'm really curious to see how some of that's going to work out. And that's the first time they're implementing that into this John Wick table, which is super cool. And one of the other things, everything about the table, it was really fun. I got a little chance to play it. It had a really nice little game flow from what I got to see. You see on the right side of the table, opening and closing the weapons chest, so you can get weapons for different missions to progress upon. You can barely see it in the background back there, Hubert. They've got this little model representation of the Red Circle Club, and you've got his muscle car back there, the Continental.
Oh my God!
Those all come into play. They've got like special multi-ball
the friggin' like Blood Oath pendant there.
Yeah, that thing flips open.
Oh,
it flips open. He talks about it in the interview, Hubert, that they scanned. Lionsgate sent them the real Blood Oath.
No way!
From the movie, and they scanned it. And so he said that right there is like the most accurate representation of the Blood Oath on Earth, other than in the movies. So there's a lot of authenticity. They worked with
passion project here.
Yeah. We're hand in hand with Lionsgate on this, so it's like it just reeks of authenticity. Super sick table. And the one other thing I want to mention real quick that they have that's so sick with this in particular, Stern is doing this thing. They've been doing it for a while with a bunch of their games called the Insider Connected. And it's basically like a companion app that you log on, you have your profile, then anytime you go to a Stern machine, you'll see in the bottom right side of the table there's a like white QR code reader. You just put your phone on that, it reads your QR code, and the machine then puts in all your data then, right? Your profile, you've got all your high scores, you've got your achievements, everything connected. Then it has other, features like now, you can find pinball machines near you, particular machines, this and that. So they've been doing this thing for a while, which is really cool. So anytime, you get on a Stern machine, you scan your thing, you're getting your stuff updated. But now with Wick, dude, they're doing these like basically they're going to be releasing like DLC missions. So like individual missions. So you're going to get contracts. Dude. So you'll get notifications on your phone of like when a new contract goes live and you find the machine and then it's going to be like, a contract that's, if you just go up, drop a couple quarters in the machine, that contract's not available for you. But when you're on the Stern Insider Connected, you've got like custom missions that are going to unlock for you as time goes on. And
I will get out of bed from a deep sleep to finish a John Wick contract.
Yeah, I know you would. So I thought you'd be pumped to hear about that. I was extremely pumped about that because I just love the idea of like this and moving forward. I hope it's a success. I think it will be because on any of these games, there's a ton of stuff like to do on these games, a ton of stuff to like learn. It takes a while to like figure out all the options on, any pinball table, but like it does then get not repetitive, but you like know basically the rundown. So the idea of like evolving the gameplay on on a physical table like this. It just is like super excited. Oh yeah, a couple other things I'll mention real quick that might get you excited, Huber. They've got Ian McShane, who played Winston, does like custom voice for this game. So they have a bunch of the authentic footage from the movie. You know, you can't see it in the shop, but there's the standard kind of LED screen up on top. But near the back glass. So you have a bunch of footage from the movies and actual dialogue, but then there's custom dialogue recorded from Ian McShane. They've been doing that.
That's awesome. Dude, I'm seeing a lot of multi-balls, and I feel like that translates to like the chaotic action scenes of the movie.
For a second.
Yes, that's what he was. And there's custom, like I said, there's a red circle, like shootout scene multi-ball. There's muscle car multi-ball. There's the Continental multi-balls. So they've got all kinds of action.
Incredible. And they got Keanu plastered all over that thing, dude. That'll get people to put some money in for sure.
They've got some really nice artwork. So this was a lot of fun going over to Stern and being able to interview Zach Sharp and everything like that and get the rundown on this table. Hopefully we'll get more opportunities like this in the future because it'd be sick as hell if we could do a little bit of pinball coverage. Good things are going on in pinball. So yeah, everybody check out that interview that's on our channel live now.
Yeah, and we got a video coming up on Jaws as well.
Yeah, we got a couple of cool projects coming up on Jaws.
Man, I gotta find one. I gotta find one of those in the wild.
Yep.
I'm on the hunt. Keep me posted, Don.
Get on that Insider Connected, Huber. Track it down. Get those contracts.
Yeah, dude.
Middle of the night.
God.
Also this week, Britannia Media.
Who?
Britannia Media. The Strain Train or whatever they call it.
Like Encyclopedia Britannica?
No, they're shutting down another studio. Dawan Entertainment. So this is the same group that previously closed Crop Circle Games and Possibility Space over the last couple of months. Now they've just shut down this other studio that was just opened in August in Bangalore, India. And it was supposed to be like, you know, Indian developers making games for people in India, like, and all of that. And nope, it's another one getting shut down one by one. It's like those guys are just over it. It's kind of weird. So they got one studio left out of their 4, but it was also open in August. So I don't know. We'll see if they stick around or if they pass it on or if it just gets shut down with the rest of them. But it's kind of crazy, this whole saga. And I know a lot of people don't know these companies because they didn't get a chance to make any games.
Yeah.
And they hired some pretty great people in the industry to head up a lot of these projects, and they were making cool stuff. And yeah, now it's just not going to happen. Surprise! Rakugaki Arcade GK. Remember this from a couple weeks back? We got this reveal. I didn't even have footage. We were playing GIFs.
This one again?
This is the game that was like spray paint mechanics, kind of like Jet Set Radio, like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah, this is coming out on the 22nd. it's almost here.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
If this game feels fun, 10 out of 10, sign me up, dude. Yeah. It's all about the feel, but it looks like it feels good.
RKGK Rakugaki.
Yeah.
From a small team in Mexico, and then Gearbox Publishing.
Nice.
So, yeah.
It looks sweet.
Yeah.
Nothing like a double jump and an air dash, dude. That's, like sliding around.
Some grinding.
Yeah.
Get your rail grinding. Get your graffitis.
Got some cool style for sure.
Yeah. All about the style. Some crazy.
Some like Matrix Sentinel boss.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we got a giant mechanical snake. Everybody. Pretty good.
Looks sweet.
Remedy canceled Codename Kestrel to focus on their other projects.
Max Payne, dude.
Yeah.
Troll 2.
This was going to be a co-op multiplayer game that they were making in collaboration with Tencent. It had already been rebooted. So before it was called Project Vanguard.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, we're going back to the drawing board. It's called Kestrel now. We're still in concept phase. Then they're like, no.
Yeah.
Not working out.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to move these guys to our other projects. So that way we're not worrying about trying to spin up another game, spin up a whole bunch of other people. And
I'm honestly glad about it.
yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, because I was worried. All the games they were announcing, like,
Yeah.
we got the Control verse, and we got Alan
So
Wake.
yeah,
and we
all
got
hands on
Rock-
deck for Control
Max
2. Let's
Payne,
go.
yeah.
And Max Payne, dude.
Yeah,
All
and then Max
hands.
Payne after.
All hands on Max Payne. Let's
all
go.
hands on Max Payne.
Every single body on Max Payne.
Do you want them to? Would you want Max Payne to embrace being part of like that, the multiverse they're creating there, or no? Do you want it to stay isolated?
It's so tough.
I know.
I can go both ways.
My gut is like
I can go both ways.
Pooper's gonna probably say no.
I can go
but
both
I'm
ways because
curious.
it would be cool to see Max interact with all that stuff. But I love how, even though it is like hyper insanity, Max Payne, it's still like it's hard to use. It's grounded like John Wick is grounded. You know, it's not fighting like demons and going through interdimensional portals.
What
and
about like
stuff.
if it's just like a show on in the background of a TV that's like you see like Alan Wake or something, like an interview with Alan Wake or something. I don't know, like just like a.
Yeah, I mean they've had
Something
like
like that.
little cheeky nods here and there, like Alex
Okay.
Casey and whatnot, and
Get one of those standees in the corner somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm so
Have I ever
excited.
told you, Hubert, that I freaking love that song so much, even though I never played Alan Wake 2 yet?
Nice.
The Old Gods of Asgard,
Oh my
Old
God,
Gods of
yeah.
Asgard song,
Dude, and-
I know it's probably a massive spoiler.
There's
I don't care
several
at
of
this
those,
point.
yeah, I
It's,
think I know
it's
what you're
like,
talking about.
but the one performer at the Game Awards,
Yeah.
And like I'll follow you into the dark. That one is sick.
the Herald of Darkness,
Dude,
yeah.
Great
But like, I
music.
love that song even without playing the game.
It's so sick. Did you finish Control or no?
Oh yeah, I love Control.
That
Control's amazing.
song too, and the ashtray I made.
Yep. I like that.
So good.
I'm 100% in for Control 2 when it drops, or whatever they call it.
One of my favorite video game songs of all time, actually, is just the main menu of Max Payne.
Oh yeah.
That song. I'm not even kidding. It's one of my all-timers. So I'm wondering if they're gonna like remix that, change that, because I love that song so much.
Yeah, Damiani, I think if you get the Old Gods of Asgard EP that they put out, that has not just Herald of Darkness, but it also has the Control stuff on it as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they've got
That's
a
like-
pretty good selection of songs on there.
Yeah. The music video they have on their official YouTube account too for it's awesome. I love it.
Hell yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's crazy too, is because that was made to be, as part of the game, like there are different lengths of that song. So like the Game Awards version is like the short version. Like,
I imagine.
and so you've got like a 12-minute version, and I think you've got like a longer version even than that. Yeah.
I did die on that part a couple times though.
I did too. Yep. That was when it like first started getting tough.
Tough fight.
But they said, those experienced staff from that project, Kestrel, are going to join those other
Sweet.
teams. And the work that they did provided us with valuable learnings.
My psychotic Huber quote of the day is, I'm most excited to see how the bodies react to getting shot in Max Payne. That is the number one thing I'm looking for. And how good the fire looks, because Max Payne 1's fire was like 10 years ahead of the
it.
times.
Konami's Rocket Knight collection is dated for June 11th.
Yep.
Coming to
Rocket Knight.
Yeah, coming to Switch, PlayStation, and Steam. It includes Rocket Knight Adventures for the
My
Genesis,
favorite.
Sparkster Rocket Knight Adventures 2 for the Genesis, and Sparkster for the Super NES,
Never played that one.
which, is actually a different game.
Crazy.
Even though they came out like the same year, like they'd made a different game for the Super NES and the Genesis. So like Sparkster on Genesis is like a straight up like direct sequel, but then Sparkster on Super NES is a standalone game.
Yeah.
So interesting.
So sick. And is the like newer one part of this collection too, or no? Remember they had like the
No,
brand
that's a
new
2010 whatever. Yeah.
That's not part of this.
That's not in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Don, play this. Sonic Rumble was revealed this week.
Looks like Smash.
Yeah, that's the thing. This intro is like, is this Smash Brothers?
Yeah,
What are you
what the
doing?
hell?
Oh, like the
looking
trophies
toys
and
coming to
amiibos.
life.
Yeah.
This is the Fall Guys Sonic.
Yeah, this
Fall
is-
Guys Sonic.
Yeah, it's basically Fall Guys with bad frame rate. Because this is CG,
Yeah,
but
this
when you
was-
see the
this was
gameplay,
leaked,
you'll
yeah.
see it like it gets.
Oh, what
rough.
the hell?
Yeah.
They released
Yeah,
that
it-
trailer?
Yeah,
Exactly,
I was like,
right?
oh boy,
What?
I thought it was my player was broken. I watched it like again on another device. Like, oh,
Oh, righty. Look at a
It's
little
32 players.
switchy.
It's on mobile.
Oh, look at a little mobile-y.
Yeah. And which was
Hey.
weird is like I had to dig around to figure out that it was on mobile because it didn't say it was on mobile in the trailer. I'm like, what is this on? It doesn't tell me. But it's being made by Rovio, the Angry Birds guys. Which,
Yep.
Remember, Sega bought them. So
Seems good.
I don't know. We'll need to see it with actual frames
Yeah.
to be the judge. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I would give it a go.
Yeah, if it's good.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, like, it seems like a really cool match. Fall Guys and Sonic. Put them in a blender.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jeever, what do you think of this? Play this. Multiverses revealed.
Yeah.
The Joker
Yeah.
is coming.
So I'm a little less bitter than I was the other day when they announced that Arkham VR game,
Right.
because I needed to fall in love with Batman again after like the last couple months. So I've been like watching some animated episodes, kind of just like come back to reality, you know. So I'm in.
Okay.
And you got Mark Hamill back.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And when I played Multiverses when it first came out, it was very fun. It was way more fun than I thought it would be. And I was like really into it. I was like, hey, I might add this to like my rotation queue, you know, because I've always got like Fortnite in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, now there's Helldivers. But, you know, Multiverses was one of those games where I was like, oh, I could see picking this up every couple weeks, just like going for some battles. So,
I'm curious where people are at with it because it's like it's weird to
Yeah.
unlaunch a game and then act like it's a new game.
yeah. And especially because DC, not only is the multiverse annoying as shit and everyone's tired of it, but also DC has just like had so much turmoil lately. You know, they're
Right.
rebooting the whole like James Gunn DC universe, which will like rise it back up. But, you know, since like, I feel like since the Batman with Pattinson came out, like it's just kind of been downhill for a little while for DC, but, you know, ebbs and flows with
We'll
comic
see.
book superhero stuff. So, yeah.
You saw
I'm
that,
worried it's
that
coming
photo
at-
of Superman with like
Yeah.
Mishima shooting a laser beam in the back.
Yeah.
Got our Tekken 8 crossover.
I don't know if I saw that one.
That's the only photo they've released.
Well, him like putting on the boots.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying the purple laser in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because that's what you need to play Tekken 8, man. You understand these references.
I know. Got to play Tekken 1
Can't
through
even
7.
make a joke around here.
I got to play
This man
Tekken
won't
1 through
play Tekken
7.
8.
I need all that lore, dude. I'm not going to go into chapter 8 of a book without reading chapters 1 through 7. Who does that?
I think they do a good catch up.
I'm not going to watch Return of the King without watching Fellowship and Two Towers. Who the hell would do that? What kind of madman do you think I am? It's crazy.
All right, Don, this is a long trailer, so we can go ahead and go on this. Yeah, Damiani mentioned this. There was a leak, and they put it out there. You don't have to skip around. It's fine. But they, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. So they put this really cool trailer out there with like they brought back like all these contestants from the World Championships from 1990. And then, was it 2017 and 2015 was the other one, Damiani? Do you remember?
it's in the trailer.
Somewhere around there.
right?
But yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I honestly forget, but yeah, I just like so hyper fixated on like the title of this. I mean, yeah,
They might as well have
Nintendo
called
World
it Achieve
Champions-
It Yourself.
Yeah.
No. Like I keep trolling everyone by calling it NES Remix Nintendo World Championship Edition because it's just NES Remix, and it's like okay, it's NES Remix. Because the original Nintendo World Championships were on special cartridges that had like basically mini game versions of things in the games you know and love from those times, like Super Mario World, Pilot Wings, whatever. You had to complete a certain task or reach a certain objective, and you got scores based on your performance for that, and whoever had the highest score at the end won. We played one of them. I forget which one I got to work on our European SNES Classic. I think it was maybe Donkey Kong, the like, blockbuster Donkey Kong championship cart.
Okay.
So that one was like, remember, it was endless. You just kept going and you got a score. There was like Star Fox Super Weekend. They did like stuff like that. So these things have been around for like decades and been like very like highly sought after. They're very expensive, or especially the Nintendo World Championship cartridges. So they're kind of capitalizing on that a little bit, like that nostalgia. When you look at this, there's like a lot in there. But the concept, the actual gameplay concept you're seeing is very much just another NES remix. And it also begs the question, like, are we going to get like Super Nintendo edition, like of this? And like,
the naming
what
of that
else
is
are we
very
going to get?
interesting. It's like, okay, you were hinting that there are going to be more of these.
There's clearly going to be a Super Nintendo edition. Just will they go beyond that or not?
Right.
So hyped on it, dude. It just to me
but
seems like the core of Nintendo, dude. This game is like just peak. This is what this company is all about. Something like this.
Two things. This makes my job easier going after, July. I can just bring this for a GVHL stream and just be like, here you go. You're going to try and do this one now because I like, good luck. Who gets the best score in this? Like, who does this the fastest? So they're clearly just like, capitalizing on that, which is great. So I really do. I really do enjoy that. And now I forgot my second point when I was talking about it, but like that's nice to have that, like we have this show. Oh, and it's like they're doing this, but they won't do achievements. It's like, it's like you make a game that's just kind of like hyper competitive, like focusing
Switch
it,
2,
and you won't do achievements.
Switch
like,
2's gonna have something.
Yeah, I feel like
if they don't, we'll all just laugh.
There's a
and
lot of
move on.
rumblings about them cutting Twitter access that they're going to bring Miiverse 2 to Switch 2. It's like, yeah, right. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to bring that back, but you can bring back Street Pass, baby, please.
Yeah, that's nice. That's out July 18th.
Crazy.
Did you see the collector's edition for this? That's why I kept bringing up the cartridge.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
have
replica cartridge.
A gold cartridge that doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Japan gets the better version. So there are little cards that have the artwork of the boxes of the game. So we get the NES boxes. They get the Famicom boxes, and then the Famicom disc versions for the games are on Famicom disc, which is like a little part that shows disc. And they get the pins, they get the replica, but they get Famicom Joy-Cons.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
Joy-Cons.
what?
That's pretty badass.
Like, yeah, they're like Famicom edition Joy-Cons. Like so, and the A/B buttons, like it's actually like a normal looking controller. So it's like, oh man, I really want that, but. Apparently, it's only being sold through the Nintendo shop in Japan, nowhere else. You need a like verified Japanese credit card and address and stuff. So,
Crazy.
Good luck getting that. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to make it as rare as the originals, right? PlayOn announced Akimbot, a new 3D action adventure game, hoping to follow in the footsteps of Ratchet and Clank, Huber.
I mean, that's one of my favorite franchises of my entire life.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. This is coming from Evil Raptor, who's a smaller core team of about 8 devs, and they made Pumpkin Jack.
That's right.
So
Sick game.
yeah, that was a great little game.
Is this single player?
Yeah, single player, but like Ratchet and Clank, you've got like a little buddy
This looks
coming
awesome.
around. Yeah. So
Yo, I want.
exactly.
I want. Will play. I want.
That's coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox later this year.
It's coming. It's for sure.
For this year, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. The wish list made me nervous. It's like, yo, is this early access or like a Kickstarter or something?
No, they've been working
It's
on it for
coming
like
out.
4 years.
Okay,
so yeah,
awesome.
It's almost done.
Hell yeah.
And then, as Damiani said, starting June 10th, the Switch will no longer allow you to share screenshots or videos directly to Twitter. Their last one out.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter raised the prices on everybody, and everybody was like, nope.
I was a little bummed about the PlayStation situation. Remember, you had to go through the app to do it now?
Yeah.
I was like really hesitant. It works really well.
It works.
It works. And maybe not
it
really
still
well.
Sucks.
It works.
Like,
It works. It works.
Yeah. The thing
yeah.
that I don't
But
like
I
about it,
wonder what
Huber, is it then
Nintendo will do.
puts another thing on my phone to delete
Yeah.
afterwards. Like, just the whole, like,
Yeah.
just
You're right.
don't need it.
You're right.
But
What will Nintendo
Twitter
do?
had to ruin it.
Yeah.
Had to ruin the share button.
So would you just like take a screenshot on Switch and then like upload it to your computer now, or go
I mean,
through,
it's a similar thing, but it's
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more cumbersome than the way PlayStation does it. But
That's annoying.
it's just passing it around.
It's one of like
Give
the
it
most,
to another device, then give the device to Twitter. Yeah.
It's like the internet is like a toxic, scary place sometimes, and I just feel like one of the best ways to have just like Discord about a game is just people posting their screenshots of games. It's like the least toxic space to talk about games is someone
the
just like
photo
posting a pic.
modes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's the best.
Yeah.
Thanks, X.
Hopefully we'll find a way to get it back. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Respect.
From Trent Gergetta. Good day, allies.
Good day.
Yakuza Kiwami.
First one, yeah.
With the talk of infinite wealth being so positive, I decided to get on board.
Finally, let's go. What were you waiting for?
I was going to start with 7, but I saw that I also had Kiwami in my PlayStation Plus library. My goodness, Huber, I'm sorry. I did not understand. I am in love. This condensed, interconnected open city works so well.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I can't believe these features were available back on the PlayStation 2.
Not it. I mean, the original Yakuza on PS2 is a little more cumbersome than Yakuza Kiwami.
Sure.
Yeah.
They added stuff for Kiwami. For
Yakuza PS2 has like old school like JRPG shit where you just like don't know where to go. They're like, hey, go find this person in the city. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, they got rid of that stuff.
Okay, good to keep in mind. This is a remake. This is not the original.
Yeah.
But they want to know, is there anything you played well after release that you're surprised the developers were doing back then? Do you have an example of something you like? Back to?
I played Persona 4 Golden on Vita. That was my first Persona so late, 4 Golden on Vita. And yeah, I was just blown away by the how the social aspects and like the schedule mechanic of that game.
Right.
I was just like, oh, this is so cool. It really makes you like, think about what you're doing in the game that day, and I just loved that. So
Yeah, I was gonna joke. Technically,
shit.
I feel like a lot of people technically jumped in the middle with Persona because I think most people start with 3 or 4 and didn't play the original.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even Final Fantasy, it's like if you jumped in with what you thought was 2, that was not 2. It's like, I mean, but obviously you didn't have access most likely didn't have access to those other ones. But I mean, yeah, it's always kind of interesting to think about those series that it's a slightly different question, but like when you play something and it's like you think you've played them all and like, wait, there are others, but they're not out here. Like what? Like it's always like the question of like, can I track them down, or are there other ways to play them? For me, it was like the first Ni no Kuni, not Wrath of the White Lich, but the actual one for DS, and the fact that we never got a localized version of that here, my heart breaks for that like we didn't get that, because that version's so cool and good, and a much tighter story, I feel like, than Wrath of the White Witch, but yeah, like you still kind of get like that same story, but there's like gameplay elements that just aren't even in there, and I kind of like wish we still could have got it somehow. But yeah, like most people will not have ever played that version, even if they played what they think is 1 or 2, because those aren't 1 or 2. That's like a enhanced remaster or remake of the first, and then 2. So like really the second and third game in the installment. Same with like Valkyria Chronicles. Most people have never played 3 because it never came out over here. They only got 1, 2, and 4. So yeah.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Mother 3, Bloodworth.
Oh God, we went there.
I went there. Blood's sitting next to me. You got to go there.
I mean, you haven't played it, but
Me?
yeah.
Oh, and I've never played. I'm talking about you though.
Right.
Just like how long it took you to get on the
to
go back and
Sure. I mean, it took somebody send me a translated
Exactly.
cartridge. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
And now
yeah.
I've because of the scheduling issues that knocked me out of that playthrough, and now my GameCube is busted. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to find another way to play that game and finish that game sometime.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I'm trying to think because I feel like with some of the stuff I've been digging into, with just like some of the Llamasoft stuff was like, I don't even remember if it's like a specific game in there, but just like again, like looking at stuff that people were doing like early on those PC games before like it was even like aware of video games, you know? It's there's like people that were messing around with 3D stuff and all of that, like way back. And then another one was like getting to go back and check out Trials of Mana with Ben and Brad and
Nice.
that playthrough on the Super Nintendo version. It was
Hell
just
yeah.
like, man, this game was doing crazy stuff
That's sick.
with like all of its classes and everything, like just different character interactions and
Yeah.
different paths that you could go down and all of that. Yeah, Don, you got anything that you jumped to later and like, whoa, I can't believe they did this back in the day?
Oh, nothing that popped in my head right now. Sorry, I was distracted fixing something.
Oh yeah, no worries. That's what you're supposed to be doing. From Jeff Kendall. Hello, allies. With the recent closure of Arcane Austin, I have a question relating to canceled projects and finding ways to potentially monetize them. By all accounts, Redfall was a disaster waiting to happen. The devs knew it. I would assume Microsoft knew it. This seems to happen a lot with the sunk cost fallacy and still putting out a terrible game to maybe recoup losses. Wouldn't it potentially make more sense to cancel the game but release what assets do exist as basically here's what we had before the project was ultimately canceled for like $5? It would play well for game preservation. It would give hobbyists and enthusiasts a chance to learn what a game looks like in progress. And really, for a cup of coffee, you get a fascinating look at an abandoned project. Would there be any abandoned projects that you would pay $5 to get what they had just out of curiosity and to support the studio?
Pay $100 for Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
There we go. There are a lot of canceled projects we're willing to pay for if we can get like just something of it to try or like earlier versions. But I had to answer like why don't they just do that? Why don't they just like monetize it a bit? Sometimes more, and probably like more often than you realize, canceled projects, concepts, ideas will get rolled into something else.
Yeah.
It's not like they're always, usually, especially in financial stuff nowadays, if they completely abandon something, it's like a write-off or it's liquidated, like Square Enix
WB
just did
move.
with that too. But like Square Enix just like wrote off some stuff because they just completely scrap stuff and are not carrying them over into other projects. But sometimes it is carried over. Sometimes it might even see the light of day in another form, like Metroid Dread, which was just it's like where'd it go? Is this canceled? We all think it's gone, and it's like no, it came back from the dead. But yeah, like especially like the Zelda series, countless times that they'd be like, oh, we had to cut content from this one, and it's like, we'll release the cut content. Actually, we used it in the next game. It's this dungeon in this game, or it's this concept. It's this item, or combat on horseback was cut from Ocarina of Time because we couldn't do it in time. Well, here it is in Twilight Princess and every like 3D Zelda game pretty much after that had horses you could ride. It's like, they like these things just keep, they'd like to bring them forward. So that's the one thing to consider basically is that sometimes they don't want to give away their unrealized ideas just for a few bucks when it's like we can make a full-blown game someday. There's good stuff. We just need better tech or we need a different team to work on it. So let's give it more time.
The bad faith side for me is that more people who do not follow video games walk into a store and they would buy the shitty broken game like Redfall. They wouldn't even know. They're like, okay, I'm going to buy it. Versus like people who care about and are like tapped into video game preservation and history and the behind the scenes. Like I feel like the people who do not care vastly outweigh the people who do care. Like I just don't see this. If this ever happened, I just don't see it like taking off or like selling well. You know, unless
Well, I mean,
unless it is
but
something
in
for
the-
something
in the
so
stuff-
high profile like Half-Life or something.
Yeah.
I feel like the casuals that just walk into a store would buy the game and you would recoup some losses, and I think that's absolutely what they're going for.
Well, but with some of these like collections, like the Llamasoft and all that, like you do get some things that were. I mean, Llamasoft has a game that was like on a whole freaking system that was canceled. Like the platform was canceled. You know.
Yeah.
But then eventually, like Damiani's saying, like eventually that technology from that canceled platform went into the Atari Jaguar, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it was kind of a successor to a console that never existed. So there's definitely weird things like that. But as we just said, read from Remedy and provided us with valuable learnings. There it is. Like even Kestrel, there's something that they learned that they're going to carry into the games that they are working on. Probably that Control multiplayer game. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Kestrel is a project not working out. Take that code over to that team and get them working on it.
Yeah.
This also kind of funny enough, it goes into what we were just saying with the last question about surprised things that people were doing back then. The Mii's, Damiani. They were playing around with stuff that became Mii's back on the original Famicom, back in the NES days. They're like, all right, yeah, people can make their own little characters. And like, what can we do with it? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they kept messing around with it. With the 64 disc drive, we got these demos of like, oh, okay, here's like a little character creator thing, and we saw previews and stuff of that, and you're like, well, what do we do with it? Well, we don't know. Didn't come across. Then on the GameCube, we saw this thing that used the same little guys, and like this is, and you've got all like Miyamoto and Iwata and all these folks running around in this thing called Stage Debut, and we're like, what can you do with it? It's like, oh yeah, you just make your little guy and they dance on stage, and like, but that's the game, like, and then eventually when the Wii came out, they figured out what to do with Mii's.
Yeah.
They just put them in all these games.
That's good.
All right. So you're telling me there's a chance down the road Vitality Sensor will be fully realized and come out?
Vitality.
Could be.
I was gonna say Last of Us 2 multiplayer. I would pay a lot of money for that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of stuff I would like to, some crazy prototype I would like to play is your Mother 3, the original Mother 3, Earthbound 64.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just seeing those screenshots. It's like, oh, this looks so cool.
I also.
And it probably, if they finished that game, it probably would not have been anywhere near as cool as the Game Boy Advance game was.
Yeah. I also, just to be a weapons grade hater against Microsoft today, I'd want to play Scalebound just so I could be like, yo, this game's sick. Why the hell did you cancel this?
Right. Right.
Just to know. Or maybe it was like not great.
All right, let's play a game. Oh, I think Don missed it. There it is. I'm Cody Spencer. Hello, allies.
Hello.
I'm bringing back one of the first games I submitted to the podcast. I thought I would bring it. I thought I'd bring it back twice. It's called New Faces in New Places. Like before, 2 main characters from 2 different games and franchises will be swapped, with everything else remaining the same about the games. You will vote on which game with the new main character you would rather play.
Okay.
So, would you rather play as Frank West in the Yakuza series, or Kazuma Kiryu in Dead Rising?
I'm actually gonna go Frank West on this. I think him entering that universe is so perfect for hijinks. It's just such a good match. Kazuma already fought zombies in Dead Souls.
That's right, Dead Souls.
So we've already been there, done that. And I really think Frank West getting involved with the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance is just too good to pass up. Too good. I love it. That is a great fit.
All right. Yeah, I'll defer to you since I have no Yakuza experience.
It's really good.
Only have Dead Rising.
It's a really good fit. It's so good.
Next up,
Oh my god.
Corvo in Metal Gear Solid or Snake in Dishonored?
Wait, Oh, I gotcha.
Corvo in Metal Gear.
I think putting Corvo in Metal Gear is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, he would just break it, dude. Can you imagine just
It'd
like
just be
blinking all over Shadow Moses?
I played Revengeance.
Yeah,
Corvo,
yeah.
like full power Corvo feels like a Metal Gear
Yeah.
enemy. Like
Yeah.
it feels like somebody Snake would go up.
Yeah, so strong. Love Corvo.
Yeah, probably.
Let's go with that. Let's go with Corvo.
Because wouldn't like Snake in that be too slow and like methodical and kind of be?
I mean, he could do some cool
Yeah.
stuff, but he couldn't like.
Weirdly, the idea of Snake being in Dunwall, just like, I don't know. It just
He
doesn't
couldn't blink.
get me.
Yeah.
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 Senua and Alan Wake, or Alan Wake and Hellblade.
Dude, Senua and Alan Wake. Like, she's already tripping out. Dude, she goes to Bright Falls. That is, she's gonna lose it. She is gonna freak out, dude. My goodness.
Yeah, the audio design in that game.
Dude, it would be insane.
Wow.
There were just,
something.
it'd be 24/7 whispering. Just nonstop whispering in voices.
Shepard in Dead Space,
Hmm.
or Isaac Clarke in Mass Effect.
Kind of like,
I mean, I haven't played Dead Space, but knowing Mass Effect, just having like Isaac Clarke in the Mass
As a
Effect
party member,
universe
like, yeah.
is like doesn't stand out too like
Yeah.
as, too much of like a special thing where it's like a horror themed survival thing for like
Shepard.
for Shepard.
Yeah.
Something like we really didn't like see.
it's pretty
I
sick.
mean, we
I-
kind of
on-
do.
on their-
but yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm forgetting stuff, but like isolated on their own, like maybe like like less resources. Don't like, yeah. But I don't know. Like he'd have. It depends from which Mass Effect game specifically. I guess how
It's
far
interesting
along.
they both have like kind of like the biotic, like telekinesis
That's
abilities.
the thing. Yeah. Like there's that stuff is kind of I feel like is a little similar. I don't know.
I mean, it's a nice twist. Like, Isaac is just a random engineer versus Shepard is like full-on military guy in Dead Space. Like, you would just like carve through the necromorphs. I don't know. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's like I don't know if I necessarily see an advantage to Shepard in Dead Space, whereas like Isaac could just be kind of like a cool pickup to have on your ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Isaac and Mass Effect though.
Okay.
I think we're a little split.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Cal Kestis.
That's it. Cal Kestis.
Yeah, it's like
That's
you're
it.
done. Who are you
it.
talking to here? With you?
Yep.
In the Witcher series.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
all-
dude.
Or Geralt in the Jedi series.
Dude, Cal Kestis, man. More Cal Kestis, please. Cal Kestis everywhere. Oops, all Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis versus a drowner. Arthur and Dutch in Resident Evil 1. Or Chris and Jill in Red Dead 2.
Oh my god.
They like
it'd be
botch a robbery and find themselves in the Spencer Mansion. It's so good. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and you had was it Undead Nightmare, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
But just like Chris and Jill, just not like being like these weapons, like having to use like old guns and stuff. Like what? But like still also like badasses with it.
yeah. Dude, Chris
trying
and
to
Jill just
navigate.
like riding horses out in the wilderness. That's freaking jolly.
Yeah.
Now we need a Western Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Can we get one set in the past, like in the 1800s?
That'd be sick.
Could
That's
be,
like
it could be interesting, yeah.
Oh. It's like
But again, it just feels that does feel just like Undead Nightmare in a way.
my Damian, my favorite like sections of the entire Duke Nukem franchise. Obviously, the first level of Duke Nukem 3D. But then in the N64 one, dude, 0 Hour, it's all about time travel, and there's an Old West stage with Duke Nukem, dude. He's got like the long duster and the Winchester repeater. Putting any characters in the Old West, I think, is just sick.
Yeah.
All right, these are fun ones. Doom Guy in Madden 22. Or Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady in the Doom series.
Doom Guy in Madden, dude. Mutant League Football is back.
I would love to be able to.
Tom Brady couldn't throw deflated balls at deflated bullets.
Put them as two enemies. Put them in two enemies.
Here we go.
You know what? Just spam those enemies. That's all you need. Just put Mahomes. Just
Here
Mahomes.
we go.
Hundreds
This is
and
a
hundreds
bait.
and hundreds of Mahomes. Oh, that'd be a fun game.
He's
Doom Guy, dude, quarterback, throws it like 500 yards, dude, out of the stadium.
Right.
Replace all the cocodemons with Mahomes.
You know what this made me think of? I watched because they was on like HBO or something. The movie Timeline. I had to rewatch the trailer because I'm like, isn't this the one where Paul Walker says the dumbest line in the history of movies? He gets them all together. The one where they have to travel back to like the 16th century to rescue their father, their archaeologist. He goes, "We're from the future, dudes. Let's just get our heads together. We'll be out of here in 20 minutes, no problem." It's like the dumbest delivery. It's like quintessential Paul Walker.
Yeah, dude.
And now I'm thinking of like that with Mahomes and Brady. Yo, we're like two football Super Bowl champs. Let's just get out of here in like 10 minutes, dude.
Oh wow, yeah. So do we actually pick one? Or
Doom Guy, dude.
Yeah.
NFL Blitz
Yeah.
/ Mutant League Football vibes. Not enough of that to go around anymore.
And then final one. The Baldur's Gate 3 companions in Smash Brothers on N64, or Smash Brothers N64 fighters in Baldur's Gate 3.
I kind of don't like either of these, actually. Sorry to be harsh. Loved the other ones, though. 10 out of 10 on every other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really feeling that one, Blood. You take it.
I mean, Nintendo wouldn't allow the Smash Brothers characters. I think they would maybe allow Baldur's Gate in Smash Brothers, but
I mean, does that mean we get a Bowser boss fight in Baldur's Gate? That's reason enough right there.
could work.
Yeah.
Could work. I just the fact that they said N64 is just hilarious because I'm just thinking of, like,
Oh yeah, it's
I was
Bowser's not in
thinking-
N64 version.
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking
They
of
don't
like
even get Bow. No.
ultra low polygon character models
Yeah.
in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, we don't even get Bowser.
It's some
Hey.
like Mario kissing scene, but he can't even open his mouth. All right.
Fun game.
Thank you, Cody. It is time for bets. This week's bet.
Mookie bets.
The early access train keeps running. The Rogue Prince of Persia is hitting early access next week. I had to keep check. Like, really?
Yeah, that is insane. That is insane.
Happening
Bloodworth.
Tuesday. Since I'll be out next week, we're gonna keep this simple. I want to know how long that early access launch trailer is gonna be. The reveal trailer was 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Huber,
No, you go first this
I
time.
go first.
You go
Think
first.
about how first I go.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 minute and 1 second. Right there.
Okay.
Whichever way is up. I'm not sure. 101.
1 minute, 48 seconds. Nowhere near me, Bloodworth, is what I like. Get away from my bets.
Stealthy Centipede. 148. Pompous Cocker Spaniel. Damiani.
2.
2 minutes. Flat. Mm-hmm. Don. Fashionable Manatee.
Gone in 60 seconds. Shout out to Nick Cage.
Dude, great movie. all of it, dude. The original, the remake.
Again? What was the car called again? The one, the Eleanor, right?
Eleanor.
Wasn't that
Oh, yeah.
Eleanor, right?
Yeah, Shelby GT, dude. So sick.
Movie holds up.
And then Gabby, our optimistic rat. 19?
90
seconds.
1.5.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, that's pretty good window for a launch trailer.
Gabby's how to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Last week's bet. Crow Country, we talked about it.
Great game, don't skip.
Great
Excited to hear
game.
your thoughts.
We all know Huber likes his documents. We talked about that. Yeah. So last week I asked how many words would be in the first document we come across. Huber sent me a clip. So we got it. First, we got to get the bets. Huber bet 20 words. Damiani bet 34 words. Isla bet 46 words. Don bet 27 words. Gabby bet 5 words. I bet 48 words. The first document Huber came across
First one I came across
was Beyond Magazine, August 1987. Strange sighting at abandoned theme park? Aspiring paranormal photographer Arthur Mole sent in a Polaroid he took while exploring the abandoned amusement park Crow Country. Could this thing possibly be real, or is it just another hoax? Here at Beyond Magazine, we're not convinced. Try a little harder next time, Arthur. The answer? It's hilarious. It is 55 words.
55!
The one time you did not bet on 55.
55 would have paid!
Dang, I was going to do 55 that time too.
55
that
would
hurts.
have paid!
So I was the closest with 48. So I won that bet, bringing the scores to Stealthy Centipede with 6 and Effervescent Hippopotamus with 5. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. If you enjoy this show, that is how you make this happen. Head over there to Patreon and put in some cash to pay to keep all of this going, to keep this show going. You get 4 episodes a month. Sorry, I was distracted. We got cables over here.
Sorry. Sitting on some cables.
But yeah, 4 episodes a month. Drop in $5 to pay for those 4 episodes and keep this thing rolling.
Cheaper than a Blockbuster rental.
Yeah, true. I don't think you can get a Blockbuster rental. I guess there's one store maybe still out there.
The last Blockbuster.
Yeah. But at $5 a month, you get this podcast 2 days early every week. You get it ad-free. You get 2 bonus Love and Respect questions. You can submit to Love and Respect to get those games and all that in there. And you get in our Discord where you can hang out and talk about games and find other people who have common interests in sports or anime or voting on those top 10s or whatever. We can also talk about those news stories as soon as they drop and all of that. And then at $10, you get in our contributor tier. $25 and up are our producer tiers. And our platinum producers get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. This month's shout outs go to JavaWebs, Elthanis, and Forever Ender. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
All right. As Don brought up, he's got that pinball video for John Wick Pinball, that interview.
So sick.
Go check that out. Get all the details there. We also, our group stream this week, we did a double feature. We played Surmount, co-op climbing, DK King of Swing kind of thing.
It was cool.
Which definitely need to put some more time into that.
Get the rhythms down.
And then we got to slapping.
Yeah.
We got to slapping playing Rose and Camellia.
Game is so crazy.
It was one thing to like have people waggling it out in multiplayer. It's a whole other thing to go through this insane story.
Yeah.
We did the first 2 episodes on the stream. I did the rest at home that night.
How many episodes are there?
So there's 2 more.
2 more.
Original episodes, and then they did this La Mulana
Got it.
bonus episode for the
Okay.
remake. Yeah. So
Cool game.
it goes places.
Cool
It goes
game.
places, I'll tell you. Next week we'll probably be streaming Content Warning, which came out a while back. It's kind of like Lethal Company, only like you go in and like you're photographing like paranormal events.
Cool.
trying to get the craziest video out in the made up TikTok.
Oh, it's gonna be
within
fun.
the
I'm
game.
pumped for that. That's gonna be
cool.
fun.
And then we got some impressions that Isla did before she had to go out of town. That's going to go up very soon, so keep an eye open for those. And as I mentioned last week, I will be in Warsaw next week. So if you happen to be in Warsaw on Tuesday night, go to Chaos H40S, probably around 7:30 or 8. I'll be hanging out there with some people, and I don't know if anyone's actually going to make it or not, but let me know.
You got the days right with all the time changes. That's Tuesday at 8 their time.
Their time. Yeah,
There it is.
I'm not even worried about what time it is here. I don't.
Cool.
At that point, it does not matter to me what time it is in California.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
So that should be a good time. Seeing a lot of people while I'm there, one way or another. So, yeah. Back to back to back to back. It's like
Fantastic.
doing stuff as soon as I get in, and then all day the next day, and then all day the next day.
Fantastic,
yeah.
Bloodworth.
Good stuff. I won that bet, so I get to shout out anything or anyone that's on my mind this week. I get the final word, and I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. I'm going to shout out that Animal World Discord, the reviewers Discord again. There was a good time. And Andrew Stretch, I believe that is. Let me make sure. I don't want to get his name wrong for this dude that I just met. Yeah, Andrew Stretch from Tech Raptor. That dude, like, carrying all of us in that game. Like, any time I had a question, like, hey, I'm missing these collectibles. Do you know where they are? Like, he would have an answer.
Sick.
Like, yeah. And he's also piecing together, like, one of the craziest puzzles in that game, which is, like, actually does require putting a lot of different heads together, which I won't say more than that. But I put a link. Once you get far enough into the game, go to my Twitter, find that link, and help us out. But you need to get decently into the game for Animal Well. And then, I don't know, man. If you're making billions of dollars, maybe you don't need to lay off award-winning teams. Come on. Fuck. Come on. Let them make one game under your own direction. You bought them with a game in progress. They finished the game, and then you're like, okay, thanks. See ya. Rough year. But we will see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
Then stop buying new studios, assholes. Like, what?